All right, all right. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. This is a special edition. It is not the truth with G tonight. We are here, WPMM Internet Radio. We are here for our election night coverage tonight. So it's myself. I'm your boy G, as you know, and I have in the studio with me as well. Queen Sarah's in the house. How you doing tonight, Miss Queen?
I'm doing well. It's been a long time
It's been a long time. I had
since I left you. No, but I'm here. I'm in the building. I am excited to be here. Excited about ready to jump into what's going on tonight. This has been a critical midterm election, and I'm happy to be here in more than one capacity. So, not only is Queen Sarah the host of Stylish Behavior Live and a normal person and fixture here at WPMM, but I'm proud to announce that I am the Area 1 coordinator for social action for Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. So that means I am right in the right place in the right time. Social action is making people aware, getting people involved, and letting them understand what's going on with us politically and what that process means for us. So, for us and for our community. So, I'm encouraging if you are a member of the Blue and White family, tune in. Make sure you check us out through Facebook Live. Share, share, share. If you are a member of the D9, tune in, share, because this is about spreading knowledge and giving insight. So I'm encouraging everybody to tune in. All right, back at you, G.
So you said your title that you and I heard it, but I think my mental capacity would not let me hold on to the all the syllables that you use when
All
you
the
describe.
syllables. Is Area 1 coordinator for social action with Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated.
There you go.
I had to slow it down. Zeta Phi Beta.
In other words, she's in charge.
No, well, not in charge, but it's about
Everything flows through you.
no. No, and look, and you gonna make my sorors giggle at me because they like just you don't understand this woman's humility. But anyway, no, I'm where I'm supposed to be. You know my love for politics and wanting people to know what should happen and my passion for civil rights because that's where my parents came from. So I'm where I'm supposed to be.
And you said civil rights, and this election, this midterm election,
Mm-hmm.
and I keep telling people this midterm election is probably the most important election we have had in recent history. And when I say recent history, I'm talking the last 50 years.
Right.
50 years plus. Prior to 50 years, we didn't have a say so in anything.
Oh no.
So since we have had any type of say so or supposedly had any type of say so, this is probably the most important election in the last 50 years.
It is because you have a lot of, and I've been observing the different elections not only in the state of Florida but especially in the American South, and we have a whole lot of divide and conquer happening. It is traditional to see a lot of that in a midterm when you see a lot of change happening. I think Jamal Bryan coined it best. He said, when you see progress in areas, you see the old fashioned toxic of divide and conquer, where you have a lot of elections where you have African Americans who are running for the same office. That has been, I know, a problem since the beginning of the beginning. I would even hear my parents speak about that, and I would ask, like, why is that such a significant like factor? And say, well, when you divide the vote, between um in the African American community, you don't get that unity. So it opens a window for opposition to or the opposing person that's running, other
Right.
party that's running to have just a shoe in because we have seen it with the election of President Barack Obama twice. That when we show up, we get results, and that's something that's so important, especially in a midterm election that's so critical, because we look at the state of Georgia, which we've been like, goodness gracious, we all been like rubbing our heads about Walker and Warnock, and with Abrams up for election. So and even elections in Mississippi, where you have the divide and conquer equation applied to these county seats, especially for your courts and your judges, that's real huge, because these are the people who ultimately make the decisions on and rulings that affect your everyday everything. We tell people, yeah, people say, well, I won't vote midterm election because it's not as important, quote unquote, as the presidential election, but it is, because it's your constables, your governors, it's those people who are the legs and feet in politics and in policy. So that's why it's so important to not sit on your vote. We have to show up in these type of elections.
Yeah, because and my black people know I've been fussing at y'all for weeks on weeks, especially since the primaries.
Hmm.
I was so pissed off with my black people in the primaries,
Right.
especially because of the numbers that was coming in. It just showed that sometimes we act like we just don't care.
We don't. We don't. And I was looking at that too. I've seen, even though I've been very, very quiet, I have been very, very observant. Um, and I've seen some very disparaging things in on social media, and how we're approaching politics. We want change, but we don't want to put in the work. And putting the work is taking your tail to the poll, and voting intelligently. People have been fighting us with securing the ballot. There's never been so much opposition in terms of voter suppression that we've seen this, like in like my mom and dad's day, with the poll tax and all the things that they faced during the civil rights movement, and we're still dealing with some of that foolishness now with policy, and with certain acts, voting rights acts not being passed, and all these dumb rules. We can't hand you water and all this foolishness. And
Yeah,
yeah,
you can't give somebody some water while they stand in line, but
right.
the Republican side of things think it's okay to beat up cops and storm the Capitol. That's okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's a tourist attraction, according to some of them.
Right.
It was like it's like a tour to the
Mm.
Capitol, according to, and I ain't making this up. This is what some of these lawmakers said.
There was a tour of
Yeah,
the Capitol.
that one of the Republican, and I forget his name. He said that if you didn't know any better when you watched the video, you would think it was a regular tour of the Capitol.
Okay,
He actually said that out of his own mouth.
let's apply some common sense. I've had my share of visits to Washington D.C. Um, and it's all been for work purposes. And I visited the Capitol, and at no point in time did I ever want to walk into um that Capitol and act a complete fool. There should be a certain sanctity, a certain respect and integrity you would like to have when you're visiting our nation's capital. Regardless of your politics or how you feel, it just should be something. And that kind of behavior would not be tolerated out of others, brown, beige, or
Oh no.
yeah, it wouldn't be tolerated out of others. And that's what's been real discouraging, seeing people deny what has been common sense and be selective about who can do what and what makes sense.
Yeah, if it would have been us, if
Yeah.
it would have been black folks storming the Capitol,
It
I
wouldn't have been a story to
guarantee
tell.
it would have been a bloodbath. It would have
Right.
been literally where we would have been shot, tased. I mean, we would have died.
Yeah, it would have been a massacre. It'd have been an absolute massacre. It'd have been worse than the Rodney King riot. It'd have been worse than Bloody Sunday. It would have been worse than anything in the history of the United States when it comes down to that sort of I'm gonna say disorderly assembly. You know, um, that's that's something else.
So
That's something else. This a whole different horse of a different color. We can pretend, oh, let's make it okay, but not so much. What we got going on in Georgia?
well, we're gonna and what we're doing tonight. If you're just joining us right here on WPMM, we are having our election night coverage. We did this 2 years ago.
Mm,
Um,
mhm.
we did this 2 years ago, and it came out pretty good. The results came out in the
Yeah.
favor of human decency,
Yes.
not to a particular party or
Right.
anything, but it came out in the
Mm.
favor of just human decency.
Right.
And we're hoping that tonight it's going to be the same results, because with this election has
Mm.
been so evil.
Yes. It has.
It's been evil, and I don't understand. This election has been, well, since 2016.
Hmm.
Well, since, yeah, we'll say the 2016. I have I've never been one, and I'm an old guy. I've been around for a little bit. So I done been through a few elections.
Okay.
I've never been one to say that, okay, I'm just gonna vote Democrat because I'm a registered Democrat.
Right.
I've
Right.
never done that. I've always been a person who is, I'm impartial. I listen to everybody. If your ideas of your
Mm.
platform fit my
Mm.
lifestyle
Right.
and it's better for me, I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, Independent, Green Party, uh, uh, what's the other
Mm.
one?
Is a Tea Party your party, my party,
Yeah, I don't
gangster
care.
party? I mean,
Yeah, I don't care what political affiliation you have. If you're saying something that makes sense, and
right.
if your agenda fits my lifestyle and I
Mm.
think it's going to make my life better, that's
Right.
who I'm rolling with. But in this election, I would probably stab myself in the eye with a rusted butter knife
Don't do that.
before I vote for a Republican.
Don't do that because they don't have cute patches anymore. But anyway, don't do that. They
I,
ain't gonna give you the Gucci patch. They're gonna give you the little pirate patch.
I literally would not care who is on the ballot as far as a Democrat or Independent
Mm.
or Green Party or whatever you want to call it.
Mm.
I wouldn't care who's on the ballot. I would not vote for a Republican. Regard, it can be my mama. If she was running as a Republican, I'd be like,
That's all right.
I know, you're
But
not getting my vote.
well, a lot has changed with the Republican Party because I have friends who are Republican, and what has changed is once upon a time there was some sort of integrity. You knew that, of course, there was opposition from the side of the aisle, but I think with our former president, he kind of just sucked the integrity and just everything it means to be have dignity and function within the party, because all Republicans do not agree with how he handled things, especially wealthy, very wealthy Republicans. Because at the end of the day, it's not about being a vigilante, but we still have to be decent. Um, and I think the decency was taken away from the Republican Party, unfortunately, because everybody. I mean, it's a way you fight. Even when we saw John McCain and deal in Barack Obama. John McCain did not. He was a class act. He did not run under all this. He had his views and things that, of course, we did not agree with because he was Republican. But he was not that candidate. You know what I mean?
Right.
He was just not that candidate. And no, I don't agree with you, but John McCain understood being human. He understood basic decency. It's just some things that it was the honor in it that he understood, and that's what we lost.
You know, obviously, I didn't agree with a lot of McCain's politics.
No, I didn't.
But when
I didn't either.
I kind of gained some respect,
right,
when he was doing a town hall or whatever the case may be, and somebody shouted out something negative about Barack Obama, and he was like, "No,
we're not gonna do that.
We're not gonna do that.
Right.
We're not gonna do that." And he just had, it was human decency.
Right.
That's not in the party anymore.
Right.
We have two Republicans in the Republican Party, particularly in the Senate, who at some point in time came to their senses, which is Adam Kinzinger and
I would draw a blank. Well, it's Herschel Walker's fault. I'm sitting here watching the Georgia. I'm sitting here watching the results from the Georgia election. We in the Senate, we had Raphael Warnock and Herschel Walker, who has been a media disaster, basically.
Liz Cheney.
Okay, but and that would be distracting anybody, because if it's not his son Christian, like rolling his neck and eyes and fussing about stuff, which Christian was 150% right about the whole character thing and character flaws with Herschel Walker, and then Raphael Warnock, who very centered, very grounded, very intellectual, and just more grounded. A more grounded candidate. You can see what he could potentially do for humanity, as opposed to saying, "Oh, it's the Democratic Party." We just need a decent candidate. You know what I mean? And I don't know.
Well, with 16% of the votes that's in right now, Warnock is up.
Good.
He's up with 16% of the precincts have reported. So we still got a ways to go. Still have a ways to go. In Florida, we have Marco Rubio. He is about 10 points ahead of
Val Demings.
Val Demings right now. And unfortunately, we also have DeSantis that is up right now with 54% of the vote being reported. Is 56.3% to 43.1%. So right now we can see that Florida is want to hold on to slavery, because DeSantis is all about slavery. Rubio is all about slavery. Gaetz is all about being a pedophile. And we have some ignorant people.
And so who were their opponents? We had with Matt Gaetz, it was
Rebecca Jones.
And then of course Ron DeSantis' opponent is Charlie Crist. And as much as I would like Chris to be the next governor of Florida, I have no faith in it. We know that Ron DeSantis is going to win, because it's Ron DeSantis has been 1,000,000 times miss and 5 or 6 times hit. And I think what puts him over the top is the policy, where people are looking at that policy about, he blocked, wanting to teach kids about sexuality, what have you, or that kind of deal. And parents are like, okay, good. Okay, you're preserving that. And that's something that's sticking out for parents. Another thing is that's going to keep him ahead of the game is his approach to COVID and how he dealt with it in the state of Florida. And he went for it with, with saying, well, okay, you have the right to say whether or not your kids are vaccinated or not. And parents like the idea. All parents like the idea, whether you're Republican or Democrat. I have a choice in the matter, that you're not forcing me to push something through my child's veins. And it's
but he was
that's what he pushed. That's what he pushed, and I think that's what is going to get him a win tonight.
Well, but and that's through the whole COVID thing.
Okay.
He was. Here's my take on his whole COVID thing. He wasn't worried about human life at all.
At all.
He didn't care about human life. All he cared about was making sure that the rich people stay rich.
Yeah, because we didn't want to stop tourism here.
Right.
You shut Florida down. That's like what our everything, because is you South Florida and it's Disneyland, which these things were shutting down anyway because you didn't want people. These businesses, these F-100 companies, did not want to risk that liability. So Florida was shut down, but not shut down.
And in my take, it should have been shut down because
Yeah, it
this was
should have been.
COVID. This is the first pandemic that we have dealt with since the early 1900s.
Right.
We hadn't been in this situation
At all.
We know people were dying at a high rate.
Right.
We know people were getting sick at a high rate.
Absolutely.
And his concern wasn't people dying and people getting sick. His concern was if this business was going to be profitable.
Right. And you had governors, because at one point I think we kind of what is what's it? I forgot the legal term. Well, we kind of adopted New York's governor for guidance at one point, Cuomo.
Yeah.
Okay, I know he had stuff going on. Okay, but he was providing an excellent amount of guidance. And someone caught Cuomo like getting off a plane. He said, "Are you going to open up New York because of industry?" And he said, "Are you nuts?" He said, "We're talking about people's lives." And in that whole clip, he went from he was not governor, but he was like a real person. Like, are you crazy? These people are dying. Like, are you nuts? No, I'm not opening anything back up. Are you crazy? And everybody in Florida that was like, yay, But we've been the redhead stepchildren in the whole pandemic. Everybody has been trying to figure out what in the hell is going on with Florida. Like, y'all at the beach, y'all kicking it. Like, what's up? What is going on with Florida? So
we lost $1 million plus.
We did.
And not I ain't talking worldwide. I'm talking United States. We hit the 1 million mark.
We hit it.
As far as people dying from COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand, as far as the vaccine, it should be a choice or whatever the case may be. But here's my pushback on that is that all these years, and black people are funny. Black people funny. All these years, we done had all these vaccines. We done had the flu. We done had polio. We done had before your baby leave the hospital.
Yeah, you had.
They done had 3-4 vaccines.
Right.
And then before your child hit school, they done had 5, 6.
You have follow up or have boosters. You have those boosters.
Right. You
go to school, and you take them before you go to college.
But until 2020. Nobody questioned what was in that vaccine. Nobody questioned the side effects. Nobody questioned if it'd make you grow hair on your fingertips.
Right.
Nobody questioned anything about any of those vaccines that we have been getting forever. All of a sudden, this vaccine come up. I don't know what's in it. Okay, since when you've been a scientist? Since when did you care about what's in a vaccine? I mean, and it was me personally. I was like, I wasn't for the vaccine in the beginning because I needed to make sure that it worked. I needed to make sure that there was some data to show that this is effective and it works.
And I think what freaked everybody out is not so much the idea of the vaccine. It is the language in which it was introduced. Because when for people who really sat down and like paid attention in biology, what you were taught was a vaccine is a watered down version of the actual disease, when in fact COVID vaccine wasn't by definition a vaccine. It was inoculation. And what inoculations do, and this, they would never, ever, ever explain this. And they just should have, because it's just simple science. Inoculation is simply something you take to boost your immune system. Right. So it wasn't, boosting your immune system is good because you hadn't taken a vitamin C or zinc or elderberry, or for those of us who aren't naturopathic and we don't have that a part of our daily regimen, you're not doing this. The average person doesn't know what elderberry or all this stuff, or making sure their body's alkaline and that sort of thing. We're not doing that. So explain it. It needed to have been, I think, a better explanation. Did people need to get their immune system boosted? Absolutely, because we live in an environment where there's more pollution now than ever, because you're dealing with global warming, and you looking at areas like, you imagine somebody living in Cancer Alley not having their system inoculated. You know, that's that little strip in New Orleans where it's where all this industry is surrounding, and all these people are sick in that area. And you imagine people living in that kind of environment, not having their immune system's inoculated because you're exposed to all this pollution and all this other stuff. So it's the way it was introduced. Yeah, should people have gotten an inoculation? Absolutely, because times have changed. This is not the day where you had a chicken pot party and you invite all the kids over and everybody get chicken pox and nobody had it the rest of the year because everybody got we kind of did that immunity thing. That was not the case with this.
Well, this
Yeah.
pandemic came under the wrong administration,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you had the orange idiot. He called it. I think at one point he had labeled it Operation Warp Speed.
Yeah.
And when you're dealing with medical issues, when people know that it takes time to develop a
Yeah.
vaccine,
yeah.
and you calling it warp speed, and
Mhm.
but I
It
think
was
if it had been under, for instance, if it had happened under the Obama administration, it'd have been a totally different thing.
right. But see, Obama put out this whole big, thick, giant door stopping binder.
Right.
So this would not, it would been preventative. But we had a president who was like a bull in a china cabinet. He was just basically the lights are off and he is knocking,
Right.
running through, just knocking down all the pillars in the room. And that was his approach. Let me undo everything. And I think he missed the whole idea of what the American president represents, because it's about adding on to the American legacy. Every president is known for doing something that's landmark, that's historical. Obama will be healthcare. You had Roosevelt welfare. You had, different presidents did different things in their era. Some things not so great that we not proud of, some things that we like, what, we're glad it happened. But to unthread everything every president had ever done was insane. And that's where we are. And Biden has the needle and the thread, and he's trying his best to sew stuff that happened 100 years before he was even in office.
Right.
So he inherited a hot mess. It's unfortunate, but that's the case. We got Stacey Abrams. She's up. It's good.
Yeah. And with voting this year, if you're just joining us, we are having a special edition of well, it's not we're not it's not the truth with G tonight. WPMM
We chopping
special
it up.
election coverage.
We a special
WPMM
election.
special election coverage. We're covering the returns as they come in. Still kind of early to make predictions here. But again, this election is one of the most important. Human decency is on the ballot.
Absolutely.
Freedom is on the ballot,
Mhm.
because I've been encouraging people to vote Democrat, because vote for the Democratic candidates, because of just the human factor, and the fact that all of the platforms that the majority of these Republicans that are running, they are trying to force us back into Jim Crow.
Well, we have 5 states that have slavery as an institution on the ballot. They want to implement
Yeah.
chain gangs. Well, the chain gangs, by the definition, I think it's Tennessee, Alabama, Vermont, and it would
You know,
escape me to other states. But
I
I saw that, and I've been like pushing that, like, where we worried about Kanye. Do y'all know there's 5 states that have this sort of work program, quote unquote, that chain gang system on their ballots.
Right, but most people don't. Most people do not know that even this is on the ballot right now.
Mm,
Our Constitution still
does not.
it still allows slavery.
It does.
And it says it in the 14th Amendment, I believe it is. In the 14th Amendment, it says that, people think that slavery was completely abolished, but no, it says it's been abolished unless you have committed a crime.
Right.
So slavery never ended.
No.
It just turned into our penal system, our prison system. Because
Mhm.
back in the day, after supposedly the Emancipation Proclamation was signed, they had to come up with something to keep black folks in bondage.
Yeah, it's a form. It's like a work program, and interesting enough, my cousins and I have been kind of digging into our like family tree finding stuff, and my cousin happened to find a work card of our great 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 uncle. His name was Henry Burke, and he had a work pass, and that work pass included his name, his address, and his employer. And this is something that black people, especially black men, would have to present to law enforcement to show them if they were like in transit to work, like they were walking down the road and going to work. They had to show where they had this card, and it was literally a card. I was like, wow, because he called me and asked me, because his history and ethnographies are my thing. And I said, well, it's a work pass. He said, what? Why would uncle need a work pass? I said, well, it was to prove him not being vagrant. Because if you
Right,
were vagrant,
vagrancy.
vagrancy was
Was
a
a
crime,
crime.
and you could be arrested. So if you had no proof that you were hired out by somebody or you worked for something, you were just thrown in jail and made to work on the railroads or made to work in coal mines or whatever industry needed servicing in your particular region of the country. That's where you serve. Whether some some prisoners were in the fields, some were in the coal mines. When you go further up north, we talk about like remember that whole, well, is that after that John Henry era, when they were digging out like the coal mines to create paths for those railroads. So that was a very real thing. And with how African American men have been stopped by the police, um, it's scary that you'll have to produce or work something. Like, hey, I work for bubble gum and chicken, or I work for guitars and pianos. It's going it'll be scary if it comes to that.
Yeah, that was the number one crime back in the day, vagrancy.
Vagrancy.
And that's what people
Right.
were locked up for and put to work in chains and hard labor, just like slavery. It was just it went from the overseer to the officer.
Yeah. And you
So-
worked until you died. It'd be a trumped up charge. They work you in the prime of your life. That's why you see, so if you look at some of those pictures and you look in some of my history books and on some of the documentaries, you see all these men in their 20s and 30s and their teens, and then men would just die out under that kind of servitude because you would basically work to death.
But it's Alabama, Louisiana, Oregon, Tennessee, Vermont. Those are the 5 states.
Those are the 5 states. Oregon.
Those are the 5
Wow,
states.
I knew it was an odd state because I'm like, Oregon. You don't think about Oregon and you don't think about Vermont because they're those states.
Well,
It's those states.
Vermont,
we eat
Oregon.
Brussels sprout steaks. It's that kind of deal.
I think we have a caller on the line. Who do we have on tonight?
What's going on, G? How y'all doing?
There you go.
Mr. John, what's going on, buddy?
Here you come.
Oh, here I come, right? I don't know if I should say anything now. Y'all got me pinned. I don't know what I should do, man.
So
I don't know.
Are you pulled over? You're not on the road, are you?
Oh, I'm in Bordentown, New Jersey. I just got through having dinner with my brother, and I'm gonna try to get up out here tomorrow and start heading back where it's a little warmer at.
All right, man.
Okay.
So,
Mr. John,
yeah.
what's
Yes, sir.
give me your quick overview on this 2022 election.
I'm glad it's over with, first of all.
That part. That part.
I'm upset with whoever's running Val Deming's campaign. And I'm gonna tell you why. Now, Gerald, you and I talked about how about money she was spending or shouldn't spend, or she didn't spend in our area, and why. I understand that because she's it's a ruby red district, and she won't waste that money.
Right.
Okay?
Where she had limited amounts of
Limit-
money.
Right. But it shouldn't have stopped her from going to Tallahassee 2 weeks ago. And 2 weeks ago, Florida A&M had their homecoming. And I'm telling you, it had to be 100,000 of us on that campus that weekend. 32,000 was in the stadium alone. And I did not see Val Demings there. I did see Charlie Chris at the alumni parade. Well, I saw him on the news.
Mm.
Yeah, I saw where he was there. He was in the parade.
He was in the parade, right?
Yeah.
Val Demings missed the opportunity.
Well,
Okay.
Charlie
Now-
Chris has been making his rounds, but I'm just going to say this: he has been present, but it has not been a connection. And
No, it hasn't.
no,
But Val Demings should have made the connection. You'd realize there's a lot of people in our area probably don't know who Val Demings is.
And I'm gonna push, but you know, I like to push back on you, Mr. John.
Mhm.
It's too many of us don't even care who she is.
right, that part.
And that's the part that bothers me. The ones that don't even wish to know who she is.
Okay,
And
I give you that.
I don't think. I think campaigns should be government funded. I think everybody should be given equal amounts of money, and you campaign based on that money. I don't. This whole concept of who raised the most money is the one that's going to win irritates my soul.
That's something that's always gotten on my nerves because I'm like, at the end of the day, why? That's something I never could just I could just wrap my head around because I'm like, okay, so this person doesn't raise this money is that's at a disadvantage, especially if you're
Yeah.
a first time
Or
at
if
the rodeo,
you
you know
or
what
if
I'm
you're a
saying?
black candidate,
or if you're a black candidate.
because black
Yeah.
candidates do not pull the corporate sponsorship that these white candidates.
Absolutely.
We do not. We black people get their money for where you know
Citizens United is what you're talking about. They give a lot of money out.
but they're not giving
Right.
them. They're not giving the money that these
Mm-mm.
Republicans, these white Republicans, are getting from these large corporations. They're not doing it. The
Ah.
black people, black candidates are getting their money from individual donors who giving $5-10 a pop.
Right.
They don't have the corporate donors behind them because they don't rub elbows with the millionaires.
Right.
Well, I'm gonna push back on you on that one a little bit. Raphael Warnock got a lot of money. I think he got more money than Herschel did.
No.
Yes, he did.
Herschel
Yes, he
outraised
did.
him. I think Herschel
no.
outraised him as far as money. But Warnock wasn't. He still wasn't getting the money from large corporations.
Well, large corporations are not going to
Oh,
support
that's so
Democrats.
depressing. My whole soul just stopped.
Oh my
Rubio.
God. John, they just called Rubio as the winner of that district.
Yeah.
Of the Senate, what was the number?
It was a Senate. Katie Britt is the winner for Alabama Senate. I'm not familiar with Katie Britt.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oklahoma, James Lankford.
And these are all Republicans.
These are all
by the way.
Republicans, yes.
Oklahoma,
Oklahoma.
Mark Wayne Mullen. What the hell name that child, Mark Wayne? But
John Wayne. I don't know.
But you do realize it was a black woman running for governor of Alabama. She didn't get no airplay.
Really?
Yes. See there?
Wow. And and I've been watching things pretty close. There was also a black man who was attempting to run for governor here in the state of Florida. He was actually from. I saw him on the ballot during the primaries. He was actually a alum of FAMU, and I was wondering why that was kind of
Who's that?
quiet. Oh goodness, I don't have a primary ballot. But he was on the ballot. Oh my goodness, I would not have his name, but he was running for governor.
Of Alabama?
No, from Florida.
Florida?
Yeah, he's alumni of FAMU.
Hmm.
So right now we have 36 Democrats and 35 Republicans in balance of power for the U.S. Senate. We need
What?
51 to control.
Well, we need 50.
You need
Well,
50
You
to
gotta have
control.
50.
You got to have 50.
well, North
They had-
Carolina may be the spoiler.
Well, John, they just called
Ron
they're
DeSantis,
calling DeSantis
the winner.
the winner.
But that was to be
Well,
expected, to be perfectly honest with you. I was not
that was-
expecting Chris to win.
I
I really
wasn't. Me
wasn't.
neither. Me neither. Because Charlie Crist didn't resonate with anybody.
He really didn't.
And the only reason he's Republican now is because Republicans threw him out of the party, because when Obama came to Florida after a storm and he hugged Obama, oh, that was it.
Was the candidate that was running for governor Yolanda Flowers?
Yolanda Flower. Yeah, that name sounds familiar.
That's in Alabama. She, Kay Ivey is.
Hey, Ivy just
is
was called.
well, I knew
Yeah,
Kay Ivey would
yeah.
win too.
Oh yeah, it wasn't even, she didn't campaign. She didn't, I mean, she didn't
Right.
have to,
Right.
you know. But I'm gonna throw this at y'all,
Mhm.
and I want to see what you think about. And I want you to really think about this for a minute. You know, the orange idiot, as Gerald likes to say, is going to announce he's going to run for president next week. He's already come out against Ron DeSantis.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was like teasing Ron DeSantis. Said something about Ron the something, I don't know. He said something at one of the campaign
Wow.
rallies the other day.
So
So,
it's ready to be a reality show.
oh, it is. And I want you to think about this for a minute.
Oh my gosh.
Follow me. Ron DeSantis is going to get the Republican nomination for president. Donald Trump is not going to go away quietly.
Oh, absolutely not.
He will run as an independent. So and Joe Biden will have to run if we got to prop his old ass, dark shades wearing, looking like Weekend at Bernie's ass up to let him run for president.
Okay.
Because he would have to run, because he'd have to see if he could do it again. So we got to prop him up to do it.
Wow.
Now, Donald Trump is going to do one or two things. One, he's going to destroy the Republican Party. It's going to implode from the inside out. Or two, we're looking at the end of democracy as we know it.
Wow.
Because he is going to run for president if he's got to run as independent. Ron DeSantis has raised almost $500 million to this date. And you know, he didn't run that or raise that money to run for governor of Florida. He didn't need it, that much money. He's going to run for president. And he's not going to be anybody's vice president. It's not going to happen. And I have a feeling who Trump is going to hit for his VP running mate. And that's going to be Matt Gaetz.
Oh, oh goodness.
You don't want to hear
that
it.
would
You don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it either. But think about this for a minute.
Oh,
Follow
my
me on
goodness.
this. Follow me on all this. I mean, I'm just calling this as I see it.
I don't know. That would be. You think he's not? He should be smart enough. That would be like political career suicide. I
do
mean,
you
Who
think,
would?
John?
Matt Gates?
Do you really?
No.
Do you think that they
He
would
wants
put?
that.
Do you think? Do you think that? I know we got some dumbass Republicans. I know this.
Yeah.
We have some
Uh-huh.
stupid people in the Republican Party.
Yeah.
But do you think that the United States is that far in hell to where they would have a rapist and a child molester as president and vice president?
I read Benjamin Franklin's slave logs. Yes, he wasn't the vice president
Where-
or in that kind
Where
of
were
office.
you January
but
29th,
we have a history of
2021?
that.
Or January 6th, 2021? Where were you? Did you see all that happening?
I
You think
mean,
they
but,
give a
but
damn?
do you think the human decency is that pathetic in this nation
Again,
to where
Yes.
where were you
It
on
has come
January
to
the
that- come
6th,
to that.
2021, Gerald? Did you see that happening?
I saw it.
Okay, so so you answered your own question. They don't care about nothing. Donald Trump doesn't care about nobody but Donald Trump. If he cared about this country or he cared about anybody else, he would at least denounce what happened to Nancy Pelosi's husband. He has not done that.
He has not. And that, like I say, there's no human decency. And just to let you know,
It's right. There is
Stacey
none.
Abrams
You're
is
right.
hold on. Stacey Abrams is up 51.1%
Stacey
to
Abrams is
48.4.
yeah.
What?
Stacey Abrams is up.
It's
Hey,
35% of the precincts that has reported so far. She's up
Wow.
just
Because they say
3
early voting
points.
was going crazy in Georgia.
wow. We have people who are tuning in. Thank you for tuning in to my personal Facebook page, Sarah Smith, Sarah the Queen. Hey, if you're tuning in and you are wherever you are, put in the comments like who's running and who's winning in your area. Even if in your town, in your area. I know we have a lot of in Mississippi, we have a lot of judges who are up for re-election. I would really like to know what's going on with Washington County, Warren County. That's the area where that's my old stomping ground. Like to see what's going on there, because I've been kind of keeping up with who's doing what in Mississippi, because we got a lot of stuff we need to iron out in my home state.
Also
But-
local races as well.
Local races,
As
you
far
got a
as
lot of
Pensacola,
local, Pensacola stuff happening.
because I'm trying to pull up some local stuff here myself, so we can
Well,
report
yeah.
on that as well.
What's up with Matt Gates in the House?
But Matt Gates,
I-
and I was going to talk about this earlier, but since you brought that up, we live in a society right now where, again, we have lost all members of the right, if you will, have
Right.
lost all aspects of human decency. There's no human decency. There's no respect. We are living in a country where we have an orange idiot who is under 30 plus investigations for all types of crimes, who has been allowed to run for a presidential office. Why is what? Don't we have some? If I went out and stole a piece of bubble gum and was accused of stealing bubble gum, and I went to pick up a form to fill out my ballot, fill out my paperwork to run for office, they're going to tell me I can't run because I'm under investigation for stealing a piece of bubble gum. We have Trump that done raped 20 plus women, sexually assaulted 20 plus women. He has extorted money. He has stolen documents. He has caused the insurrection. He has done all this stuff, and they are still saying that this idiot can run for president of the United States. We have people, and I hate talking about my black brothers and sisters, but we have an idiot like Herschel Walker
Mhm.
that
Kingfish.
why is this nation that pathetic?
But it's been like that since the beginning, G. When you look at the
G.
founding fathers, and I was over it. I was done. When I was in graduate school, I had an opportunity to look at the actual slave laws of Benjamin Franklin, of Thomas Jefferson, and everybody who put their John Hancock on the Federalist Papers and the Bill of Rights. And I'm looking along with myself Dr. Deanne Penner, and they would call and say, yep, she's 150% right. We're
Stacey Abrams doing pretty
we're
good here.
looking at slave logs where we see children, boys, everybody under the age of 12. What can a 5-year-old do? What can a 6-year-old do? What can a 7-year-old do? So you continue to research and you find out where they're eunuchs. They were purchased for the purpose of, and this was not something uncommon amongst this particular group of people. This was a cultural thing. You know, the same way we have people who are pedophiles who are pushing pedophilia to be legal in other countries. So we had that kind of corruption and disdain with the very founding
Right.
of this country.
You're exactly right.
So it does not shock me that everybody's cool with Matt Gaetz.
Because
It does not shock me.
you know, even going
you
back to
know.
this Constitution and this Declaration of Independence, where all men are created equal. No, they wrote this when people were slaves. We were enslaved.
Yeah.
When all this was written. So how in the hell is equal?
Right. It's not.
Where is the equality?
It was
There is
never
no equality.
intended. It was never intended for it to be equal. We were seeing it was not written for you. That was not our book. It was not our paragraph. It was not our report. It was not for us.
But for
You know,
everybody
a
that
three-fifths compromise came from Pat,
everybody that voted for Matt Gaetz, everybody that has voted for Trump and will vote for Trump again, let either one of them babysit your 12-year-old.
Well, that ain't, jail. That's just, I understand what you're coming from, man, but this is a whole nother Republican Party.
No,
This
it's
is-
not the
this is-
Republican
this is
Party.
not-
It's the party of Trump. It's
Right.
not
but
the Republican Party.
But they hang up under the R. They hang up under the R.
Yeah.
So
But the old Republican Party,
We got
we
it's not
I didn't
my
agree-
daddy's Republican
I didn't-
Party. It's
I
not
didn't
my
agree-
daddy's Republican Party.
We got the House, the U.S. House, 27 competitive seats, 53 competitive seats. Democrats must win 53 and Republican must win 27. So that's what's just
well, we're gonna
This
they
is
you know
gonna
they
be
they
close.
predicting that we'll lose the house. That all leading up to tonight, they was predicting that we would lose the house, and I hope not.
He ran for governor.
O'Rourke,
O'Rourke?
O'Rourke, yes, he did.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Beto O'Rourke is up 52% to
Okay.
47%.
That's gonna be interesting.
Warnock is up 54.4% to I seen a meme.
Kingfish.
I seen a
Kingfish.
I seen a
Crazy.
meme where they showed a picture of Cuba Gooding Jr.
Yeah, I saw
in
that.
his role
And
as
radio.
radio,
The radio.
Oh,
and they
wow.
showed they had the split shot of Herschel Walker right next to him, and they called him radio and stereo.
Radio studio. Yeah, I saw that.
Stacey
But,
Abrams is up
you
50.1% to 48.3%. Fulton County, I need y'all to keep showing up. I hope everybody in Fulton County, all that area, I hope y'all showed up in massive numbers. We did have record voting.
People showed up.
In early votes. We had over 40 million people to early vote this year.
Oh wow.
Over 40 million to early vote, which
That's
is
good. Well, maybe we showed up. Maybe we had to have shown up.
well, we didn't show up well in Florida.
Because we are red.
We had 5 million that showed up
That's a lot of red to flip.
in Florida. Florida has always been a red, even though Barack Obama won Florida twice.
I'm curious. Okay, so South Florida just recently got mowed over by a hurricane. How are we getting to polls? Like, what's going on with that? Like,
That's an interesting question because I had been wondering that that's
how
going
are
to
they
affect the
voting?
vote.
Like, how are you voting? And I know I have spoken with people who are still in flooded areas and still trying to find themselves.
Right.
But you know what? The thing is, that area was a red area anyway.
Right.
That was a Republican area.
Have you been down that way,
So
John? by
they
any
found a
chance?
way to do it. Huh?
Have you been down that way since the storm?
Close. I got to
Yeah,
not far as Tampa, but around I-4 area. I didn't go to Fort Myers yet.
Yeah, I've been actually wondering how that was going to work in regards to the vote. I didn't.
Well, they're gonna
I was
figure it out.
thinking if they was going
Hold
to.
up,
For
Dr.
the
Oz was
red
running for something. Are you
Yes.
You know that he was running for
I didn't
he's
think he
running for
was.
Senate.
I'm like, he playing.
No.
This is a reality show. This is like Real
He was
Housewives
backed
franchise.
by Trump.
Yeah, he.
Trump backed him.
There was.
And-
I just missed that
And
number.
Fetterman, Fetterman kicking his ass.
Yeah, but it's only
Fetterman
5%. I seen where it's only 5% of the vote that was reported.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But
with
there's
that
a
5%,
lawsuit.
Fetterman was way up.
Yeah, but there's a lawsuit because they got this new thing in Pennsylvania that for mail-in ballots, they had to fill it out the right way.
Yes,
You had to fill out your date on it.
3,000 some odd
And-
ballots, I think it is.
Right, had to be thrown
Wow.
out. But they were fighting to say we needed to be counted. But I don't understand why they do that because it's got a postmark on it.
Well, see,
So
that's
that's your date.
but that's the thing. You know, with all these voter suppression laws that are going on in these
Yeah.
states, anything that they can do, because it only affects early voting and you know, you mail in ballots and whatnot. That's what the Republicans was trying to suppress, people not to be able to vote
Yep.
early. That's why all these voting laws came in. That's why they was, you know, in Georgia, they were saying if you get somebody a bottle of water, you go to jail. They was trying to punk people into not voting.
50.8.
Right. It is
40.
voter suppression. And shout out to everybody who's tuning in to my Facebook Live. You may see my live go away in a minute, but I'm encouraging you to tune in to WPMM Radio Facebook Live. We're on and we're covering the election, and we're just here chopping it up, talking about what's happening, the issues that contributed to people winning their seats or even losing their seats. Okay, you out here, Glenn Cole, shout out to my fraternity brother out here in Henderson, Nevada, about to cast his vote right quick. Yeah, shout out to everybody that's getting out to the polls, and shout out to the chapter here of Phi Beta Sigma. They
I
actually
like
have
this.
they have a
I
precinct.
like this.
They have a precinct, and I'm so proud of that. And I want to encourage other D9ers to do that. Is 9 organizations, and we over 1 trillion people strong in each organization. I know I just exaggerating that, but it's enough of us where we can have precincts in our cities everywhere. I'm calling out Qs, I'm calling out Deltas, AKAs, IOTAs, everybody. Noops, everybody. I'm calling everybody out. Go, let this be the goal to get a precinct. Okay. Let's do what our founders let's do that work. Let's pick up that banner, because everybody who was in the civil rights movement or was a forerunner, they were a member of D9 in some way, shape, form, or fashion. So, and that's who they were first. So let's pick up that banner and continue to run with it and continue to work. So I'm encouraging everybody to get with your social action coordinator. Yay, I'm social action coordinator for Area 1 for Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. I love my Z5, yes indeed. And my goal this year is to really, really impart knowledge so we can be just excellent in how we deliver. So we're looking at election results. We're still looking at the Senate and the House and what's needed to function. Yeah,
Mr. John, you was about to say something?
I'm sorry, I'm just running.
No, you good.
No, I was looking at that North Carolina race for Senate, and I'm looking at Pennsylvania right now. Federal 84.6 and ours 13.6.
Yeah, they reporting 5% of the vote.
5% votes. Yeah, that's still a lot of ways to go.
Yeah, we still got a long ways to go, but that's probably just one precinct.
Right.
That's probably
Yeah.
one precinct that done report, 1 or 2 precincts that done reported. But
Yeah,
for it to be that big a margin, that's starting out pretty
that's
good.
huge.
That's
It
starting
is.
out pretty good. So
No, I would say about North Carolina, that's a Senate seat that Democrats can pick up. If we can hold Georgia and pick up North Carolina and get the Ohio one, then we just got to hold the House. And that's the thing.
Whitmer is crushing Dixon in the Michigan governor race. Whitmer is, if you don't know who Whitmer is, she is the one that was
Hmm.
there was a plot to
Kidnap.
kidnap her.
Mhm.
Wow.
The people that plotted her, they just went to trial. They was found guilty. Am I correct,
Mhm.
John?
That's correct. Mhm.
Yeah, they hadn't been sentenced yet, right?
Right.
But
that's
they
the
were
sentence
found
yet.
guilty.
My goodness.
Yeah. So yeah, we still got a long ways to go, but the state of Florida, y'all done pissed me off.
Too bad.
Because-
Abrams is slipping a little bit.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you got to keep in mind now. You got to keep in mind when these precincts start reporting.
Yeah.
Some of these red districts haven't reported yet. At the same
Right.
time, some all of the blue districts haven't reported yet either. So
True.
it may go back and forth for a minute.
Mhm. Yeah.
Because
Those were write-ins. Those are mostly write-ins when they count early ballots like that.
yeah,
those are
there's
write-ins. Those
mostly
are
early
mail-ins,
voting and
early vote, mail-ins, right?
right.
Early votes, yeah.
So, but I did see where in the last election that the Democratic Party had the majority of early voting because you had the orange idiot telling his cult members not to vote early. So it
Right.
was a flood of Democrats that were voting early and voting by mail. However, it did flip this election
Yeah.
where they was actually encouraging the Republicans to vote early. But I would, John, I'm gonna say I said this before and I'm gonna say it again. I don't, Sarah, cover your ears. But John, I've told you that I will vote for a used condom before I vote for a Republican.
You right about that?
It's rough.
I
Well, I'm
will.
gonna tell you, I'm
That's
gonna push
rough.
back a little bit. If a lot of times, like I said, I tell everybody in 2016, I registered Republican to vote against Donald Trump twice.
I'm losing you, John.
Oh, okay.
Fading out.
No, I said I registered as Republican in 2016, so I got to vote against Donald Trump twice. I voted for John Kasich against him in the primary, and then I voted for Hillary Clinton in the general.
Mm.
Strategy, brother.
Well, I started to do that, but I felt like they
Because I
probably
knew Hillary was gonna come out on the Democratic side. So, but if, like I said, if Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis tried to run for president in 24, then I don't know what's gonna happen. But I mean what I said about. Remember I told you if Herschel Walker wins, I'm going to come on your show on Facebook Live and burn my voter registration card on the air. I'll be done.
And that's sad.
Because
we shouldn't be talking about our brothers like that. But this one we have to.
But
this one we ain't got. We don't have a choice. We don't have a choice.
I tell you,
but to
He's
talk.
not-
you want to hear
not
somebody
us.
talk about him bad?
He's not us.
Listen, Google, if you can find Google Howard Stern talking about Herschel Walker. He talked about a few days ago. Oh my God, he laid into Herschel.
Did you hear Barack Obama talk about Herschel Walker?
Yeah.
And Barack has his elegant. He's so elegant in the way he delivers these.
Oh, now Kemp is up.
We have Cheryl Beasley for North Carolina Senate.
Yeah, that's what we
up.
need.
Yeah, just a report. Looks like Kemp has just went up by a 0.5 percentage point over Stacey Abrams for that governor's race. Again, this is early reporting. You have those red districts that's going to report, and obviously it's going to go one way or the other. But we're still it's far from being over. Matter of fact, the governor race in Georgia may not even be called tonight. It's going to be too close to call.
Yeah, I don't expect to hear anything about that until in the morning, honestly.
I
it might be weeks from now. It might be a week from now.
I think it's going to be
because it's going to be close.
Yeah.
It's going to be close.
North Carolina, Beasley is up 52.8 to 45.4 over Bud for the North Carolina Senate seat. Beasley looks like to be a African American female.
She's a judge
in North Carolina.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, for us to be up, that's 53% of the vote that's in already, but it's still too early to call. Let's see. As far as the House, it looks like the Republicans have picked up 3 seats so far. We were only up 12 in the House. So, yeah, I went to public school. So let me do the math. 2 goes into 4.
Stupid.
So,
I wouldn't talk about PHS, but my aunt was one of your teachers, so I ain't talking about PHS.
I cannot comment on anybody's public school.
Hey, my wife's a public school administrator. So
I'm from Mississippi, the Mississippi Delta.
Oh, you damn sure can't talk about
nobody's
public
school.
Thing.
Not
a thing.
We lucky to have a building. Amen.
Looks like Markeisha Spencer has logged in. So shout out to Miss Markeisha Spencer. Appreciate you. If you're on Facebook, go ahead and share, if you will. Go ahead and share. We're if you're just joining us, we are doing our live coverage of the 2022 midterm election. Doing a little bit different than what you see on CNN and MSNBC, which I am boycotting MSNBC. But
oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm boycotting MSNBC.
But let me ask you about Mississippi.
It's okay.
So what now?
It's okay.
Your co-workers there, I can't remember her name. I gotta remember her name. Let me ask you about Mississippi.
It's Apple. We good.
Yeah. Let me ask you about Mississippi.
Okay. All right.
You ready for it?
I hope I am. Go ahead.
Why won't you Negroes register to vote?
Well, I am not understanding that at all.
Do you realize Mississippi history? Mississippi at one time had 2 black senators.
Yes, I do know that.
After Reconstruction.
Yes.
And y'all ain't done shit since.
Hiram Revels and Isaiah T. Montgomery.
That's right. Exactly.
Amen.
And y'all ain't done nothing since.
I'm gonna be very honest with you. I'm not ashamed of where I come from, but I'm very disappointed.
No.
And I'm gonna say this. A lot of people don't know this, but Stacey Abrams is actually from Mississippi. And she spoke of that same frustration and apathy that I have seen growing up, and many people who have grown up with me in the Mississippi Delta, including my parents, have just seen. And Mississippi is a state with absolutely so much potential, because you're talking about the birthplace of music. This is where Muddy Waters and Howlin' Wolf and Son Thomas and Son House and Robert Johnson. So we have culture. We have what it takes to push the state economically, and things could be so much better, especially with us having our SEC schools in the state. But I just don't know what to say about Mississippi in terms of its progress. I just don't know what to say.
Okay, I got to break in here real quick. I missed the numbers, but the Arkansas Senate race.
The Arkansas Senate race.
We're talking Arkansas.
Okay.
We have a black female that's running for Arkansas
Mississippi's cousin
Senate, and the incumbent is an old white man. Mm-hmm. But they saying that it's too early to call right now. So for her to be even in position to win in Arkansas.
Let me tell you about Arkansas.
Ooh.
Arkansas has a rocket scientist by the name of Dr. Chris Jones. He is running for governor against Sarah Suckerby Sanders.
Oh wow.
Now you gonna let Sarah Sanders be your governor, and you got a rocket scientist over here?
Well, you know, there's Arkansas.
Who
Yeah.
is Shane Hazel?
I,
I know I lost all my little old miss, my little
Oh,
education.
That's in
Who
South
is-
Carolina, right?
no, that's
it's
Georgia.
in Georgia.
He the one taking votes
He taking
away
votes
from
away from the
knowing he wasn't gonna win.
dude.
You know, he wasn't gonna win a prize in the Cracker Jack box.
Right.
He should have just bowed out and let those voters go on to Stacey Abrams' side.
Not a tug in the war, just in there.
They weren't gonna vote for. Those were libertarian voters. They weren't gonna vote for Stacey Abrams.
I think she would have got a big percentage of that. I
Yeah,
really
I
do.
think
No,
she
she
would have
wouldn't.
also.
No, she
I
wouldn't.
really do.
Nah, she wouldn't. Nah,
You think they would have set it out?
they were gonna vote for. They're gonna vote for who they're gonna vote for. They were
Well, let's
not gonna
pray
vote
they
for
didn't
Stacey
vote for Herschel Walker, Lord.
No.
'Cause-
Well, like I say, we
Like I
still
said.
early. We got to look at these precincts as they start to come in, especially in Georgia, because you know, like I say, some of these districts are just blood red. You know, it's not going
Mhm.
to change. And when those votes come in, 90+% of those votes going to be on the Republican side. So it's gonna make it swing. The gap has closed a little bit with Herschel Walker and Warnock, 51.9 to 46.4%. And then this Chase
Who
Oliver,
is Oliver Chase?
he's thrown a monkey wrench into the
Who he
system.
been cheering?
North Carolina Senate race, 52% to Sherry Beasley,
Mhm.
against Ted Budd at 43.3% with 55% of the vote being tallied
Mhm.
already. So we're sitting good in Pennsylvania in that race right now. Tim Ryan. That race kind of worried me. That in Ohio, Tim Ryan is beating JD Vance right now, 56.9 to 43 point.
But don't hang your
30%.
hat on Tim Ryan.
Right, but he's winning now with I think it was 30% of the vote that's in right now. So
Tim Ryan is gonna wind up being just like your boy from West Virginia. Oh my goodness.
I look, I know only 8% of the vote is in Pennsylvania for that John Fetterman and Oz, but Fetterman is beating the crap out of Oz right now.
He is.
And you know, let me ask you this about Oz. Did you ever hear Oprah come out and say anything about Oz?
She came out and said if I lived in Pennsylvania, I'd have been casting my vote for John Fetterman.
Oh, she did say that much.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so that probably made the difference.
You mean she didn't go make a documentary about it?
No.
She hadn't. Because I hadn't known her to say anything. I had been looking for it, but I didn't see it. So I'm glad you did see something that she said something. Everybody thought Oz was wonderful when Oprah introduced him to the world or whatever the case may be, but I guess they realized that he's just an idiot.
Oh hell, we thought the same thing about Donald Trump back in the 90s.
No, I didn't.
I-
I didn't.
Yeah, he was like,
Um,
come on now.
Now I
Come
was
on
much
now.
more impressed with the computer person, the Microsoft guy.
Gates.
Yeah, I was
Gates.
like, okay, like
But you know, Donald Trump was in everybody rap song and he was,
Well,
hanging out
I
with
ain't
Michael
bought none of
Jackson
Snoop
and Mike
Dogg's
Tyson
albums.
and
Well,
You know.
I never liked Trump because of what he did to those 5 individuals that were falsely accused of raping
Yeah.
that young lady in the Central
the
Park.
Central Park Five, the exonerated Central
When they
Park
were
Five.
exonerated, and he still was pushing for them black kids to be lynched, if
they
you
weren't
will.
even tried yet.
So
They haven't tried.
ever
They
since
haven't
I've been
even
hearing about
got
Trump,
ready.
this was way prior to him throwing his hat into the election. I knew that once he announced that we were in trouble.
Yeah, I remember the very night.
Donald Trump really, yeah, I do too.
I remember the very night we heard that he actually won the presidency. I was we were downtown at what was it? Something going on the blocks. And I was with Carter J, and we heard it on the
Oh,
radio, and we looked at each other like, are you serious? Like,
well, it was.
Carter J
I
said,
heard
you've got
about
to be
2 o'clock
kidding.
in the morning.
We just right, we could not believe it. He said, man, I don't know. We were both like in a state like we didn't hear that. And Carter J like, I can't unhear that. You know,
Well,
that was
I
crazy.
woke up. I went to bed and woke up and looked at the TV. I was on my way to go pee, and I've been pissed off ever since.
You talking about from the announcement or from when he won?
When I looked on CNN and said Donald Trump is the 45th president of the United States,
I'm like, are they for real? Like, am I being punked?
I was been pissed off ever since.
Is Ashton Kutcher gonna jump out?
Let me tell you my story about that morning, because I went to bed that night. You know, Jesus wasn't listening to me that night. He just didn't listen. I forgive you, God, but you just weren't listening to my prayers that night. Well, I woke up that morning and I seen that Donald Trump had won. I woke my wife up first and I told her. Next thing I know, tears are flowing.
Wow.
And then I had to wake up the big dog. Big dog was I think Big dog was about 12 at the time. 10, 12 years old, somewhere in there. And he, Big dog pretty intelligent. He's a pretty astute kid. And I had to tell him, I was like, my son, Trump won the presidency. Next thing I know, tears are flowing. So for this 10, I think he was 12 at the time. For this 12-year-old to realize that we had a president that didn't give a damn about us, and for him to literally cry because this man was president, because he was wondering what was going to happen to black people.
Yeah,
that was tragic.
It was scary because it was very scary, and we've witnessed bad. I remember we all survived that baby Bush era, and I can distinctly remember people riding around with bumper stickers say anybody but Bush. It was.
I would have welcomed Bush.
I know we like. Can we go find Bush?
I would have welcomed him.
Where is Bush? And even Cat Williams took it back. He had this joke out. He said, "How you f up everything, air, water." And I'm like, you look back, you're like, Bush really wasn't that bad. But I don't think any of us, I mean, black people, white people, Republican, I don't think any of us realized how bad it was really going to get. Stacey Abrams is down. Okay. I'm gonna need a hug in a whole minute.
In Georgia right now, the Stacey Abrams went down about 2 points, 51 to 49%.
And this Hazel person, oh Lord, she's just
anyway. I'm not worried. Hazel ain't got nothing to do with it. He's taking votes away from Kemp.
Why are you there? Like,
he's taking away from Kemp. He's not even a factor. No, he's not even a factor, because if you're going to vote, if you're going to vote for Stacey, you're going to vote for Stacey. If you're going to vote for Stacey, you're going to vote for Stacey. I mean, but what's happening is you got a lot of Democratic black men that are splitting the ticket. They're voting for not Herschel, but for Warnock, but they're voting for Kemp, or they're not going to vote for Stacey.
So in other words, we doing the dumb I'm not going to vote for a woman thing.
Exactly.
Oh Lord. Yes.
You have a lot of that in there. That's been a lot in Georgia.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
That's what everybody been saying.
Hillary tried to warn us. Hillary tried to tell us, but we let I don't know. I don't know if it was just ignorance or just lack of knowledge or whatever the case may be. But I don't have to I don't have to agree with someone and be buddy with them to go along with their policies.
Right.
There's an old saying, Gerald.
And everybody was talking about Hillary. She's not likable, you know. And everybody that was saying that didn't even know Hillary.
Who gives a flying flip? She's brilliant.
She was a very, very smart woman that had.
She was a poor campaigner.
But still, she was. But at the same time, you have to look at the human aspect of this. What human being, in their mentality, what would make somebody think that I would prefer somebody like an idiot like Donald Trump over somebody who is seasoned and know the game, that know politics, that know foreign policy, that know about budgets, that know about all this stuff. But that honestly shows you how far we have not come as a country when it comes to gender relations and how we view women. Is, you know, we know Hillary is smart. We know she knows her stuff. You know what I'm saying? And we should not be shaken. We should not have been shaken, you know, at that point. You know, we should want people that's in, but popularity among smart women has never been a go. It has never been a celebrated thing at all. Period. Okay, the Georgia Senate rate, Warnock is 47% of the vote, but Warnock is up.
Getting closer.
Yeah, it is getting closer, 51.3% to 47%.
Let me say my little 2 cents in about Hillary Clinton. First of all, you're right. Hillary is a smart woman. And in politics, there are no permanent friends, just permanent interests.
Right.
Okay. So Hillary's problem is this. Let's look at the state of Pennsylvania.
Okay.
When she was running for president, she got caught up in the startup. Instead of her going in the middle of not Tennessee, but Pennsylvania, going in that middle part of Pennsylvania where those Amish people live and the hardworking people in the farms. She's in Philadelphia at a rally with Beyonce and Jay-Z when she should have been campaigning a little harder in Pennsylvania because she thought her name was Clinton. She was going to ride Barack Obama's coattail and her husband's coattail and walk on into the White House.
But John,
another thing. Hold on, I got one more.
Okay.
One more. Hillary Clinton lost the state of Michigan to Donald Trump by only 11,000 votes. That's it. She was a horrible candidate. She did not know how to campaign. And the people that she running her campaign didn't know, like my dad used to say, shit which I know. And that's the truth.
Well, let me ask you this, John.
Go ahead.
I think, for instance, for Hillary Clinton, if Hillary Clinton had stayed in her house, in her basement, locked up with some cheese grits and some ramen noodles, and never came out the whole campaign, me having common damn sense, I'm still voting for Hillary Clinton. She don't have to show up at a rally for me to decide that she has a better brain than the orange idiot. So are you I mean, it's like you saying because she didn't show up in a city, these people not going to vote for her. But at the same time, how many black people go to rallies anyway?
I mean, really, and I
Oh,
mean,
it was crowded.
when are we
It was
going?
crowded.
I guess my thing is this: when are we gonna get to the point and just do what you know that makes sense? Okay, we every people know. Okay, you have a person that okay, they may not campaign this way and they may not campaign that way, or you may not see this person as much because it's a few candidates on the Florida ballot. We haven't seen these. I've seen these people, but nobody in Pensacola I'm sure has because we don't get involved like we should in certain things. Like
don't.
I want to know how many people knew what's the name? Amaris how you pronounce Amaris's last name? She's running for attorney general. I had the pleasure of meeting her.
I met her too.
Yeah, we met her. Very pleasant, very intelligent woman, sister. Very proud of her. But how many? I mean, I can count on my hand the people who walked up and made it their business to know who this woman was. And even though she was there and she was present and very connected to what was going on, she did not have to be. She did not have to be at that summit.
No,
she did not have to be at that youth summit, and we were not there.
Yeah, we were not there.
We were not there.
We did not represent.
Another like even with Val Demings, I found out about Val Demings in probably the most untraditional way you can possibly find out about a candidate. I was watching internet television. She had ads running on like Ruco and you know in these different channels, these streaming channels. Her whole debate was on Facebook where she didn't win, but she tore who was she running against? Rubio. She tore him a whole nother one. Now,
yes, she did.
And you know, I was worried about that because I'm not that sister should subtract any or whatever she is, but when we're aggressive, folks don't fool with us. You know, and
or you an angry black woman.
Yeah, and even though I understand where she's coming from, because one, I'm a family of law enforcement. My father's law enforcement, my sister was in law enforcement, my brother's military. So okay, I view things a lot differently, and some of my very close friends are in law enforcement. So I understand her zeal and I understand her frustration as a law enforcement officer and why she was as pissed off as she was in that debate, because she understands the real of it versus her opponent who didn't have a clue about what was happening. So, but we charge to the superficial things, and that's what had us in a spot. That's how come we experienced COVID and all this other stuff, because we flock to what's superficial. You know, it's aggravating to see that.
And if any average person, any person with at least 6 brain cells would have seen the debate with Val Demings and Marco Rubio, and you still pick Marco Rubio,
she called him out.
You're an idiot.
She called him completely out. I'm like,
think about this. When Marco Rubio came to Pensacola, last week?
Yeah, he snuck in here. Just like DeSantis snuck in here. I didn't know he was here.
Yeah. Okay. I saw it on TV. You're talking about a former chief of police from Orlando. Her husband is a sitting mayor and used to be the sheriff of Orange County. You know who introduced Marco Rubio? Chip Simmons. Introduced him to speak.
I didn't know
That's
that.
right. That's right. And Ashton Hayes was there too. So you know she did not get the police support of the Sheriff's Association and the Police Association of the State of Florida.
And that's a shame because she's law enforcement. That's a shame because regardless, okay, I'm gonna say this. My father served with some people that we know that I know it's a hood. It was a hood in the back of your trunk. But at the end of the day, When it comes down to the come down and you call to you're dispatched to a call, all that doesn't matter, and you both trying to survive. What my guy said in the Judas and the Last Messiah, we both in a burning house. What we both want white, black, we want water, we want out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and stuff like that bring law enforcement. When you in situations like that, it bring you to your knees. Now, I don't know if these the people around here have ever experienced anything heightened like that, where it's brought them to their knees to make them think, I want water and I want out. You know, but that disloyalty concerns me, because it should go beyond her being black, go beyond her being a female. She law enforcement. She was telling 150% truth. She just was. And I know from, you know, my side of the fence, you know, but I don't know if truth is what we want. I don't really understand as a society what we want to see happen. But one thing is consistent is our complaining. And that's what's disturbing.
Well, we complain, but we're not taking action. We're not doing, like I say, we're not. And I'm interested to see what the number is going to be with black voters when this is all said and done. If we still in the 40 percentile of registered black voters and only 40% of us showing up, we're pathetic. We're just, you know, I'm just calling it what it is.
We're not showing up.
So,
you know, we're not showing up. And then we do have candidates. I believe this, and I've seen this happen. I've seen candidates run for office and win, and they're just bushy-tailed and wide-eyed, and they're excited about the change they feel like they can implement. But we have to support them, and we have to recognize that when we do have a candidate. I've seen that. I've seen that in my little, you know, time living here in the state of Florida. I've seen it in Tennessee, where you have just they're hopeful and want to see that change. But as the community, we got to get behind our candidates when we see they have that kind of vigor and innovation. You know, we have to get behind them. We cannot, they're not the Easter Bunny or Santa Claus or somebody with a magic wand. They have to have our support as well, you know. So when we do have a candidate that takes office and it is about doing something worthwhile, we got to get behind them. They need our support still beyond election night.
Well, it's not us now. It's most of your young people are. And I was having this conversation with my brother tonight. And Gerald, you could probably attest to this. There's so much information now that these kids don't know what's right, what's wrong, or what's true and what's false. And the media these days make up news instead of telling the real news. Because you can look on your phone, everybody got a blog, everybody got a website, everybody got a news outlet. When we were coming up, we had 3 channels: ABC, NBC, and CBS. Think about it, Gerald.
mm-hmm.
You know, we went to school, we came home, did a little homework, went outside and played for a while, came back in the house around 5 o'clock, ate dinner, and your mama, daddy, or granddaddy, or grandmama was watching Frank Reynolds, Walter Cronkite on the news at night. And you sat there and watched that with them. Right or wrong?
You're right.
So that's all we had. We had real news. And then when cable came along, we had CNN. Okay. But nowadays, these kids have so much information and they want to challenge you and say, how you know that's not a real outlet? And I'll say, well, it's ABC or CBS. It could be News Nation or Newsmax, and that's what they're seeing. That's what appeals to them. Or they see Facebook or Twitter. And so when it comes to voting and politics, they don't know who the hell to vote for. They don't know who's right or who's wrong.
Well,
So
well, it's
that's
it's a
something we
matter
gotta
of them.
figure
It's a
out.
matter of them wanting to listen and you know, I can't blame it all on parents or whatever case may be, because
I'm not blaming on
it's
the
not
parents.
it's not always the parents, but it's
No,
just
no, it's
it's
not
just
the
a
parents.
matter
It's just,
of each one teach one. We have to
it's
make
the
sure that
internet. It's
we're
the internet.
educate our young people. And right now, our young people, we have too many of our young people that are too busy trying to do everything else except be educated. You know, they want to be cool instead of be educated,
Yeah.
and they don't understand that is not cool to be uneducated.
Because I wonder at what point in time did not having knowledge, when did that become a trend? Because I can remember, and I've asked like
Ooh.
folks in my age bracket, like I remember we would be quiet for the sole purpose of not letting someone know that we didn't know.
Herschel
You
Gagin
know,
on 'em.
it was like I'd rather sit here and be quiet and kind of observe and kind of understand what's happening around me through context clues and conversation than to open my mouth and say something foolish and somebody clown me for the rest of the day or the rest of my life because I said something stupid. We just did not want that kind of pressure. We just didn't. And it's just a new day and age, and they're cool with it, with not knowing. And not knowing is killing you, and I understand it drives me nuts because we're not encouraged to read. I don't know where the breakdown is, but
Right.
there's most definitely a breakdown, whether it's in the classroom and the teachers just don't give a flying flip because they're not receiving the support they need to get things done. Because I've been on that end of it, where you're not being supported, and you have things that are set up to kind of teach kids to do the opposite of what should happen. But it's so much in that, but it's something
Hey,
has to change at some point.
hey, y'all look at those numbers for Georgia.
We're
Yeah,
looking at 'em.
I saw that we have over 1 million dumbass people in Georgia right
But
now.
not in that. Look at the numbers. Look at the numbers, G.
I see I see the numbers are closing, but we have
I wasn't ready
right
for
now
that.
we have
I
1
mean,
million.
hers is down 15,000 votes.
Right. So we have
And most of that
1
red, you see
million
that gray?
65,000
He getting red-
dumbasses
he getting
in the
red
state of
votes.
Georgia.
No, but this is scary.
It is.
I'm
It's scary.
looking at look at all the gray area. That's all red.
Well, see, you gotta here's the thing. You gotta look at the populated areas. If you look
Right.
at the Atlanta area, all those
There's a
Cobb
couple
County,
more. Yeah,
um,
some of them still ain't coming.
Fulton County, all those is highly populated. It is very populated.
But that's on the east side of Atlanta.
Now
That's-
it's going to be blue in most of the county. I mean, as far as that area, if you go to the Augusta area, is highly populated there. As far as particularly Black people, down in Columbus area is highly populated down there as well. So it's they're anticipating the runoff anyway, and the way it's I just Chuck Schumer he just was projected the winner there in New York, by the
Man, we
way.
knew that.
But with the way it is, it seemed like the polls were pretty much spot on when they said it was going to be neck and neck and we're going to end up with a runoff because somebody has to get 50% of the vote.
Right.
Yeah.
And right now, neither one of them is there. So, and if it continues on that trend, but right now we have 1,665,000 some odd dumbass people in Georgia who are willing to vote for someone who basically ate lead paint when they were a kid.
No, he didn't eat lead paint. he had a bad hip when
I
he
mean,
played football.
And for anybody, well, let me say that if you just joining us, people, this is WPMM Internet Radio. We're doing election night coverage here on election night as the returns come in.
Oh
We're
shit,
reporting them
she
to you.
won.
Crap. Who's she looking at?
I am in
But,
the twilight zone. Are we for real?
Who is she
Yes.
looking at? But anyway,
Governor of Arkansas,
I needed that.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders, defeats Chris Jones.
that is crazy.
That's the
a
only
damn
time I
shame.
ever hear my name and cringe.
But
My goodness.
there was what 30 something governor races here in 36 governor races, I think it was.
Mhm.
So I mean, it's the governor
Oh,
race has a
shit.
lot to do when it comes to Beto O'Rourke is down right now. However, we're only at 33% of the vote that's coming in, so we still got a ways to go. They got a ways to go. But if you just join us once again, election coverage night here at WPMM Internet Radio. I don't know about y'all, but when you turn 55, and you know every couple 3 hours things happen.
You gotta go to the bathroom.
Yes, sir.
Oh my goodness.
John, you know the deal.
Oh yeah.
You good.
You know the deal. So we can take a quick break and come right back. John, you gonna hang on?
Yeah, I can if you want me to.
Okay. We're gonna take a quick break here, because old folks got to do what they got to do, and we'll be back on the other side to continue talking about this election and the 1,065,000 dumbass people in Georgia right now. So
Now it's now 1,113,000. Herschel's up. Oh shit.
Oh goodness.
Herschel's up.
oh my God.
I'm glad we're in that
I
radio
don't- I
because I'm
don't- I don't
cussing.
I don't want to watch this.
I'm cussing. I'm cussing.
I don't want to watch this.
Well, we're
I'm
gonna
glad
see.
we're not on. I'm
Let's
glad
take-
we're
My
not
goodness.
on Sunshine Station.
Let's take a quick break here, and we're gonna come back in just about 3 minutes and finish talking about this.
Oh
All
my
right, man.
goodness.
Now let me welcome everybody to the Wild Wild West, a state that's untouchable like Elliot Ness. The track hits your eardrum like a slug to your chest. Like a vest for your Jimmy in the city of sex. We in that sunshine state where the bomb ass him be. The state where you never find a dance floor empty and pimp speed. On a mission for them greens. Lean, mean, money making machines, serving fiends. I've been in the game for 10 years making rap tunes. Ever since Honeys was wearing Sassoon, now it's 95 and they clock me and watch me diamond shining, looking like I'm Rob Liberace. It's all good from Diego to the Bay. Your city is the bomb if your city making pain. Throw up a finger if you feel the same way. Straight putting it down for California, yeah. West Coast. That's right. trap. Yeah, now make it shake. Shake it, Cali. Shake it, Cali. West Coast. Yeah. Long Beach in the house. Yeah. Oak Town. Oakland definitely in the house. Frisco. Yeah. Frisco. Hey, you know LA up in this. Pasadena. And all around the world. And all around the world. And all around the world. Sing song. And all around the world. Sing song. Yo, we've been all around the world. Been all around the world. Sing song. All around the world. Sing song. I came for the party to get naughty, get my rocks on, eat popcorn, watch you move your body to the pop song that I'm singing, ding-a-linging, funky beats ringing, everybody swinging in the place as I kick the J-A-Z-Z-Y style, R&B, mixing it with the hip-hop swing beat, champagne in my hand, it won't be long till I'm gone. It's just the freestyle, meanwhile I keep the beat kicking, sweat dripping, girlies in the limo eating chicken.
Are we back?
I love you, Rover, move over, I gotta blow my nose, sneezing, but still I'm pleasing. All of slim.
Yeah, we back.
Time to get busy with a Jenny. If it's good and plenty, don't you know? There I go, there I go, there
Oh,
I go.
okay.
But I don't go nowhere without my gym hat. What I'm rapping is that you're stopping and I'm strapping because I'm smarter than that. And then, girlie, maybe we can get along. Cutie after cutie. It's just the same old song. It's the same old song, y'all. Same song. It's just the same old song. Same song.
See, this is what I was saying. If everybody was gonna vote for Stacey, they shouldn't be neck and neck with Warnock. They should have about the same amount of votes. But they didn't. Okay.
All right, we are back. We are back. WPMM Internet Radio election night coverage with myself and Queen Sarah. Also, we have on the phone, we have Mr. John Adams on the phone with us as well. We are taking a look at this 2022 midterm election as the returns come in. Some of the numbers are kind of interesting. I'm trying not to get a major attitude with dumbass people voting for dumbass people, but we got some dumbass people in this world. This is just the bottom line.
But they voted.
They voted, but they voted for dumbass people, which makes them dumbass people. I don't like that. I'm allergic to stupidity. It makes me itch. I hate stupidity. I hate immoral people. I hate people that stand for things that oppress other people. I
And
feel
pay
like
for abortions when they say they, against abortions.
well, the same ones that are against abortion are the first ones to say somebody should get the death penalty.
That's
Right.
So either you pro-life or you're not. One of the two. You can't say you can't abort a fetus, but you can kill a grown man or a grown woman. You can't have it both ways. The hypocrisy there is real, and that's just how they do it. But at the same time, I challenge everybody, and let me say that. Let me preface my comment by saying that I'm not pro-life. I'm not for abortions. I believe that a woman have the right to choose what she wants to do with her own body.
You know,
Oh.
and it goes so much, it's so much, goes so much further when you talk about reproductive health and the laws that surround. What you won't be told is all the um horrific experimentations that were taking place on enslaved Black women, and
That's true.
it's because of those procedures, you know, and all those things. We have Black women who are mistreated, ill treated at a disproportionate rate than our white counterparts, and that does make a difference. It's the, you know, it's the beginning. Do we lose? Oh, did we lose him? Hello?
John, you still with me?
I think he'll go get his charge and come back. He'll go get his charge and come back. But we're treated in you know, in disproportionate numbers, and you know, it's, even I've experienced it, you know, where you tell a physician I'm in pain and they give you this puzzled look. Is he back? Is he back? Is he back?
John, I got you back.
Yeah, my call dropped. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
All
he
right.
found a charger. Yeah, he found his charger. But what I was saying is that, you know, you Black women, we go to the doctor and we say, hey, this is what's going on with me, and you're not being heard. And it's because that
Right,
stigma and that propaganda and those ideas that surround reproductive health and the laws that are being passed, you know, that turns into everything. Personally, I don't think that a politician should navigate medicine.
No, not at all.
You are not a medical professional. You have not gone to medical school. Why should you have any say so? And you talking about HIPAA laws and a whole different other everything else. You shouldn't have a say in that. There should be separation, like they say, separation of church and state. It should be separation of medicine and state. Um, I don't, yes, have your regulations where things could be clean and we won't have infections and things are sterilized, absolutely. But regulating a person's body to that extent, I think that's going too far. I think that is a violation of our amendment rights in some way, shape, or form. I do.
Well, Queen, I'm gonna just remind you of something you probably remember. We almost lost Serena Williams
Absolutely.
because her doctor
Preeclampsia.
didn't want to listen to her when she was having her baby,
Right.
you know, about blood clots.
Yep.
So, you know, we are always, as Black people, we're undervalued, underestimated, and marginalized.
Absolutely.
And until we can break that that stench, we're not gonna get ahead.
I know.
Well, you know,
And you know, not even ahead, but treated as an equal playing ground. We can't get it, and a lot of it is because a lot of the ways we act. I mean, it's about all the killings and
Mm-hmm.
crime we've had in Pensacola in the last 2 years.
To quote CeeLo Green, I don't
Yeah.
call you a nigga because Black. I call you nigga because how you act. You don't want to hear the truth, so I'm gonna lie to you,
That's
make
right.
it sound fly to you.
Yeah,
Well,
right,
Cell
exactly.
therapy. I'm quoting Goody Mob up in here.
but that's the importance of the vote. That's why we need to realize that when and I hate to harp on my Black people, but I don't know if y'all on Facebook, you can read my shirt. My shirt says Black voters matter, and if you don't think they matter, look at what we went through with Trump. And the reason why we went through those years of Trump is because the Black vote did not turn out. Did not turn out. The highest percentage we had in Black voters was when I think Barack Obama's second year term. as a president, I think we was somewhere around 45, 46%. That's
Mhm.
still terrible.
It is.
It
That
is.
that is terrible. And if we just show, if we would have showed up in that 2016 election, we wouldn't be sitting here fighting to try to get the laws changed back to where it sat with Roe v. Wade for the last 50 years. We wouldn't be fighting that, because the whole purpose, that 2016 election was about overturning Roe v. Wade. That was that whole
Exactly.
election was about, putting judges in place to where they will
The Supreme
overturn that.
Court. The
And
Supreme Court.
and every one of those people that are voting for the Republican Party and are calling themselves pro-life, I can take a poll. I can take 200 of those people that are pro-life and ask them, how many of these 300,000 kids in the foster care system have you adopted?
Hmm.
How many unwanted kids have you adopted? But you want everybody to carry that child to term.
Or how many programs have you implemented so you can take care of this child that you don't want to be quote unquote you want this child to be born, you want this child to live and thrive? What are you doing? What are you putting in place to make sure this child is going to have a productive life and live to his full potential? Are you improving the education system? Are you providing more resources for mothers who are in a position where they don't have that kind of support? What are you doing to help? And that's tangible. That's my question. Because I can distinctly remember when what they call them Biden bucks started. A lot of women in the state of Florida, their benefits were cut. So it's like I pull myself up. As soon as I'm getting my bootstraps pull up, you come and clip the handles on the other boot.
Right.
Because you have people who are on assistance and you have people, I need assistance, and it's just that assistance. But you can't pull the rug from under a person, expect them to thrive. You gotta let them get their footing.
Well, Sarah, Al Sharpton said like this: how do you expect people to pull themselves up by the bootstrap when they don't even have any boots on?
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Right. So yeah, we got
Let
to
me take your boots,
Mhm.
we have to get to that level of equality where we all have
boots.
the boots, and then what we do from there is on us.
Right.
But hell, we got to get in the game first.
Yeah, and our priorities are in the wrong space. I was fumbling through social media, and I posted this because I was irritated. I said at a certain age, certain things should not be important to us. And I saw a post about a whole bunch of events happening at one time, and I'm like, okay, let's have a conversation about making that brown dollar circulate. What does that mean? Take a step back, look at your city, see what your city is lacking. Go to a city where it's thriving. Don't partake of the activities, but pull out a pen and pad and make some notes. What is it about Atlanta where Black businesses thrive and grow? How can I bring that back to where I am and make things better? And I'm finna go here. What is it about my Mound Bayou, Mississippi, that is a population for years with nothing but African American people thrive in the middle of the Mississippi Delta? And the Mississippi Delta is nothing nice. Okay, it's all kinds of economic disparities, education disparities. It's all kinds of it's so many disparities in this area. What is it about that little corner in the world that's thriving? There's something we can learn from that. And I think we are missing the assignment. We reach over each other, we reach under each other, we miss the point. We run at the chance to crack the whip, but we don't run at the chance to let me help you come up, or let me show you what this is. Let me show you where paradise is. Let me show you how to get paradise. And then I don't want to do the work. So, like I tell my kids, pick your struggle.
It's that crabs in the bucket mentality. Crabs in
Pick
the
your
bucket.
struggle. Pick your struggle, you know?
Well, at one time we had that. And that was before integration. We used to take care of each other. Like, for example, Belmont de Villa Street in the east side of Pensacola. African American communities, we had our own doctors. We had midwives to deliver our children. We had Black dentists. We had Black social clubs, Black nightclub, Black restaurants, all because we couldn't go to the white restaurants and eat, and we couldn't go to the white pharmacists, and we couldn't have to go to the white doctors. We took care of ourselves. But as soon as integration came along and we got led out into that, as Dr. King said, that burning building, everything went haywire. So,
Well, just to update you on the Arkansas race, look like that lead did not hold. It looks like they're calling the Arkansas race for the Republican candidate. Right now, Raphael Warnock in Georgia looks like he has taken back the lead. 65% of the vote is in, 51% to 47.2% there. In Ohio Senate race, the J.D. Vance is up 50.3% to 49.7%, and Tim Ryan, that's 45% of the vote there. So that one's way far from being over. We got a long ways to go on that one. North Carolina Senate race, Ted Budd and Sherry Beasley, 50 to 48%. Ted Budd, the Republican candidate, up with 72% of the vote being counted at this point. In the governor race in Maine, we have Mills, the Democrat, that's up over I'm sorry, that threw me off right there.
I know it's enough to throw you. For everybody who's tuning in through Facebook Live, through Sarah Smith, the Queen, hey, chime in and let us know what's going on with the election results in your area. If you have judge seats that are up, let us know who's up for election and what things look like on your end. Feel free to note in the comments what's going on. I'm so curious to see.
Ooh, Ron Johnson's losing.
Well, that's only 4% of the vote.
Is this brother named Mandela?
Yes, he is. Mandela Barnes. He's the attorney general there now. Yeah, he's running for that Senate seat, and Ron Johnson is one of the biggest goofballs.
Oh my goodness.
in the Senate right now. Yes. But by the way, Big V said Big V was supposed to come in. He said he couldn't make it, but he's watching. Also, I had Mr. Larry Pugh that's tuned in. Miss Tamara George is tuned in. Miss Tracy Banks, Mr. Larry Pugh. Mr. Jesse Walker is on there. So if you're on Facebook, go ahead and share. It's on the WPMM internet page. I have my personal page up with just you see my mug on my page, but but we're on the WPMM internet radio page. WPMminternet.com is the website. You can listen from the app as well. We're covering the election tonight. John Fetterman in the Senate race in Pennsylvania is up 60.5% to 37% over Dr. Oz trifling ass. By the way, this is not CNN. I am not Don Lemon.
Shout out to everybody who's been tuning in through Sarah Smith the Queen Facebook page. Shout out to Rita Pearson. Prime example of people being in the Delta, loving on each other and being human. You know, we do have that sector too. You know, we have our disparities, and and I hate that because, like I said, and like so many people that I know that we are from the state, that it has so much potential, but it's like it's for some reason we can never tap into its full everything. You know, and
Hey, Sarah.
is messed up. It is. I wish things could get better because we have culture there. So, okay. Go
Sarah, can I
ahead.
ask you a question?
Yes.
When the hell y'all going to arrest Brett Favre?
Arrest Brett Favre.
Yeah, when y'all going to arrest his ass?
That is
Stole all that welfare money.
that probably is a mystery. I don't think that'll ever happen. They'll talk about it less and less, and it'll go away. Yeah.
He'd have got his ass arrested.
Okay, I'm looking at this Maryland governor race.
Oh yeah,
this is what's
that's a
throwing
good
me
one.
off. That number is pretty big.
You didn't know that?
Wow.
Yeah,
They're
that's
burying it.
Yeah, he's gonna be the first black governor in London.
In Massachusetts governor race. Haley, the Democrat, is up over Deal. In the New Hampshire Senate race, we have Hassan up over Bolduc, 57.8 to 49%. That's 29% of the vote that's in there. Shit. Close.
Well, see, let
Wow.
me explain something about Maryland. The current governor of Maryland, I forgot his name right now.
Is Dr. Oz losing?
He's
gaining ground. He's gonna gain some ground. He's about 21%, 22 points down right now, but he's gaining ground. So hopefully that's not. And I don't have the John. I don't know if you can hear. I think we're watching the same channel, but they're talking about different counties, if you will.
Yeah, I got
counties. If you hear anything in the governor's race and in the Senate race there in Georgia, in regards to where we are in like DeKalb, Fulton, Cobb County, those areas, as far as the if those precincts have reported yet, let me know.
Okay.
Yeah, let me know if you hear anything on that, because I'm wondering if those precincts in those counties have reported yet. If they haven't, I feel better. If they have, I'm a little nervous right now.
Well, what's going on in Pensacola, man? Some of the local races. You got anything on there?
Well, I've been trying to pull that up, but
we had a lot of amendments, constitutional amendments, on the ballot.
I voted for them and I voted against the judges. I always do. Damn them judges.
Well,
we had Justice Charles T. Candy of the Supreme Court be retained in office, and Justice John D. Was it Correll? Justice Jamie Gossens, Judge George, or is it Jorge? Is that how you're pronouncing it? Labarga, and then we have Justice Ricky Paulston, Judge Ross L. Bilbrey, Judge Susan Kelsey, Judge Bobby Long, Judge Laura S. Lowe. These are all First District Court of Appeals judges, and the question was, should they be retained in office? And we have and Judge Bo Winokur. So we also had a couple of amendments on the ballot as well, proposing an amendment to the state constitution effective January 1st, 2023, to the authorization, the legislation by general law to prohibit the consideration of any change or improvement made to real property used for residential purposes to improve the property's residents to flood damage, and determining the assessed value of such property value for tax purposes. So there was an amendment. Section 4, Section 42 is in there kind of thing. And there are several amendments on the ballot. One about additional homestead property tax exemption for specified critical public service workforce. This is for proposing an amendment to the state constitution and authorize the legislation by general law to grant an additional homestead tax exemption for non-school levies for up to $50,000 of the excess value of homestead property owned by classroom teachers, law enforcement officers, correctional officers, firefighters, emergency medical technicians, paramedics, child welfare service professionals, active duty members of the United States Armed Forces, and the Florida National Guard members. This amendment shall take effect in January 1st, 2023. So that's
That might
basically,
affect me.
yeah.
Okay, let's
It
go
was on the
to
ballot. Go ahead. I'm
let's
sorry.
go to the state of Florida and what they are reporting as of right now. The U.S. Senate race, they already called Marco Rubio the winner.
Mhm.
He's up over Val Demings 58% to 41%.
I hate that.
That's 92% of the precincts. So they've already called him. We have Matt Gaetz, that is rapist Matt Gaetz, the child molester Matt Gaetz, and you dumbass people that voted for him. We have 174,000 dumbass people in this district that voted for a child molester. And I want you, everybody that voted for him, again, this is not CNN. This is not CBS, ABC, NBC.
How many did Jones get?
Rebecca Jones got 33% of the vote. Matt Gaetz got 67% of the vote. That's 80% of the precincts reporting at this point. But if you voted for a child molester, you are a dumbass person.
Do you have numbers for the state representative District 1?
Or
you just going down the
let me,
list?
let me run it.
I'm sorry.
I may come to it. Hold on. For the governor race, obviously, Ron DeSantis has 59% of the vote to 40% of the vote. Then we have whoever Carmen Jimenez and Hector Roos that took votes that could have went to Val Demings. But anyway, they're already calling dumbass DeSantis as the winner in that race. Agricultural Commissioner Walton Simpson is up 59 to 41% over Naomi Barrett, and he's a Republican as well.
What about the Attorney General's race?
Not looking. It's not looking good. 81% of precinct reporting. Ashley Moody is up 59% to 41% over Ayala, which is awful. And the chief financial officer, Republican Jimmy Patronis, is up 59% to 41% over Adam Hershey, the Democratic candidate. State Senate District 1, Doug Bronson, Republican, is up 69% to 31% over Charlie Nichols. District 2, State Senate, Jay Turnbull is up with 63% of the vote already reporting, 79% to 21%. So they probably done called that for him already. District 1, Michelle Salzman is up 70% to 30% over Francine Mathis. District 2, State House, Alex Andrade. Alex Andrade is up 62% over Carolyn Taylor. Let's see. Amendment 1, limit property assessment. The yes votes is winning at 57 to 43%. Amendment 2, we have yes votes winning that one 54% to 45%. This was with 82% of the vote precincts reporting. Amendment 3, we have 82% of the precincts reporting at 58 to 42%. Yes is winning. Escambia County
Referendum
Commission Escambia County Commission District 4, 95% of the vote reporting Robert Bender is winning over Myra Van House. ECUA Lois Benson, Republican, is up 60 as that one's over. That she won that one over Andy Ramagano. School Board District 2, we have Paul Fesco is 60% to 40% over Guillory. We have under
That's-
SRIA, we have Jeremy Johnson, 52% to 48% over Thomas Capello. Let's see. Look at these. I think we have 1 or 2 referendums.
Well, school boards will get real tedious after a while because I'm gonna tell you why in a minute.
Pensacola City Council. Let me run this down.
Okay.
Charles Bear is beating Charlitha Powell 63% to 37%. That one's being called. That's 100% of the precinct reporting there. Pensacola City Council District 6. Allison Patton has defeated Ann Hill
Wow.
55% to 45%. I wonder if that had anything to do with me. I jumped on Ann Hill. And
I'm
I'm gonna leave that alone. Ann Hill don't call me. I tried. You shouldn't have been rubbing elbow with DeSantis. I tried to tell you. Yeah. Just to let you know, when DeSantis came to Pensacola, when he snuck in Pensacola and nobody knew he was there except for racist white people, she went to the DeSantis little rally thing, and she took a picture with DeSantis, all smiles, and posted that he, congratulate him on help her funding to save the turtles and the bluegrass and the wild weeds and all this bull crap. And I jumped on her, and I wanted to know what did she ask him about all the racist policies that he has put to oppress black people. And yeah. So, but anyway,
boo boo boo.
where was I?
Wow.
Where was I?
Seth Magaziner.
Ann Hill, I told you, if Ann Hill would have came out and denounced what DeSantis is doing to the state of Florida, she'd probably been in a better position. But you can't dance with the devil and expect good results. Let's see, where was I at? I was at Ann Hill.
Okay.
Alex Andrade is up over 71% of the vote that's in. He's up 62 to 38% over Callie Taylor. I think I mentioned that one already. And then you have the amendments, the local amendments. Let's see, what am I missing? I think that's about it, other than a couple of amendments that I didn't announce there. But that's where we are on the local side of things. Lois Benson, I think she's gonna die in that seat. She's been there forever.
Who?
Lois Benson.
Lois Benson.
I remember seeing her campaign signs. I could have sworn I remember seeing them signs when I was like walking to high school. Her campaign
Probably
signs.
did.
I just feel like she's been around.
What seat was that?
That's ECUA District 2.
Oh, okay. There wouldn't be any.
Westmore.
Westmore from Maryland. All right, we have Westmore for governor in Maryland.
He's the first black governor in the state of Maryland.
Oh wow.
Oh, so they call it for Westmore?
Massachusetts, Myra Healy.
Is that the governor's race? So
That's the
Massachusetts.
governor race.
Mm-hmm.
Is she the incumbent?
No.
She's not there. Okay. So, okay.
Okay.
Colorado, Jared Polis is being projected the governor of Colorado. He is the incumbent, so he will hang on to that one. State Brad, it's going the opposite direction for Stacey Abrams. 46%. She has 53.1 that Kemp has. Greg Abbott is taking the lead over Beto O'Rourke for the governor in Texas, 52.3 to 46.6. Gretchen Whitmer is still up over Tudor Dixon, 52.6 to 45.9. Only 13% of that precinct has reported in that race. So
Is so nobody singing yet.
Wisconsin, Tony Evers, the Democratic, is up over Tim Michaels, 21% of the vote. That's already been reported, 55.7 to 44.3.
Mm-hmm.
So this election is
It's like we have a lot of blue governors. We got a lot of blue governors.
I'm not gonna say damn the governors. I just don't need the
we want
Republicans
Stacey.
to take over the Senate,
right,
and the House.
That part. And we rooting for Stacey Abrams, and most definitely, we're rooting for Warnock. Just all around, better candidate, much better grip on policy, much better grip on what is happening. Herschel Walker, I just don't know. I do know. I think we all know, and that's the problem.
Election deniers.
And as far as Stacey Abrams, I think that if she was, Georgia, Georgia is the deep South.
Yeah.
Even though we have highly populated areas in Atlanta area with as far as black people, Georgia is still the deep South.
Yeah, we don't make up that majority.
Somebody just put that in there. Cindy Martin is the list. How you doing, Miss Cindy? Mr. Antoine McCorvey is on. Ms. Erlene Dunklin has tuned in. Larry Pugh, Ms. Adrian
Who we have
Graham.
in here? Hey there.
I lost your comment there. Dang it.
Thank y'all for tuning in. We're here covering election results. I'm here with G, Truth with G. I'm Queen Sarah, the host of Stylish Behavior Live, and we're here trying to remain hopeful and all this other stuff. And I'm afraid because my brother, he's going to invent some new cuss words over here in a minute. If we see any more numbers or percentage in that vote drop for Warnock versus Herschel Walker, I am very afraid that he is going to invent some curse words that I'm not aware that was possible to invent. So that part. So we giggling to keep from crying because we seriously need the Senate and the House to look a certain way so we can get some things done, folks. That's what it.
Because I sure don't want to burn my voter registration card. I really don't want to do that. I really don't.
I know. But right now, as it stands, the U.S. Senate, you have 40 Democrats, 40 Republicans. We needed to control the House is 51. The Senate, I'm sorry. This lets you know I'm getting tired. The U.S. House is 72, and the Republicans 124. They've picked up 3. Yeah, they let you know I'm getting tired. I'm old. I go to bed at 8:30.
Queen, let me just say this real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Margaret Taylor Greene is in a tight race in her district. Gerald, can you pull it up and see how she's doing in her district?
Give me just one. I do want to report this. Miss Cindy Martin, which is Miss Cindy, is one of the most remarkable people that I ever met.
Yes, she is.
She is giving me information on the turnout in Escambia County, and I'm not happy. I am not happy. See, we had 50, she's saying 51.79 voter turnout in Escambia County. 34,500 Democrats voted in Escambia County. 63,500 Republicans voted.
Wow.
That's crazy.
If you have election results, if you're tuning in and you're from another state or you're from another city and there's election results or a race that you would like to report, drop it in the comments and we'll chop it up about it. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, if I sound slow in my speech, yeah, your girl tired. Your girl be look on the pillow like this right now. Okay. So, but yeah, just key in or just put in your election results because we're trying to see what's going on in your neck of the woods as well. I know we're looking at national results of the election. You know, everybody is tapping their toes. People who are not residents of the state of Georgia who are trying to, you know, what is going on with Stacey Abrams and Warnock and Herschel Walker, because that has been Herschel Walker v. Warnock, Raphael Warnock has been one of the most heated races. Well, I say it'll be that heated, but controversial coming from Herschel Walker's end. You know, he will say one thing and he is a I guess a traditional politician, you know, do as I say, not as I do sort of mentality.
Herschel's an idiot.
And is he is not representative of what we are as a people, nor what I don't think that's what Harriet Tubman meant or Sojourner Truth or, you know, any of our people who struggle for us to get to this point. That is not what their intentions were to be puppeted, you know. And it's a shame. So you see this same divide and conquer kind of mentality in most elections, especially Southern elections, because it's about the need to maintain power, of course, in any election, but more so, it's a way of life. And in 2022 is so discouraging that we haven't discovered that what is for us, and no person or thing can keep you from what you are supposed to have. So if one group of people gets close and they get big or get big and not close enough, that should not shake us. Not with what we have in this day and time in terms of resources and who should be where and what. But it's an apathy. It reeks of laziness, and we have to get past our isms because that's what it boils down to. We're gonna That's the need to control, not to make things better, but to just hold the whip, if you will, and misunderstand the assignment terribly. All right, here we go. What's going on in the Senate?
So right now in the Senate, we're at 40 and 40, which we've been at 50 and 50s for the last 2 years. So out of these next 20 seats, we can't let anything go.
Wow.
We can't let anything go. We have to hold on to what we have. And when I say we, it's like I'm putting myself with the Democratic Party.
Mm-hmm.
But the Democrats can't lose another seat at this point.
Mm.
If we lose one, we got to gain two. And you people in Georgia,
First thing,
let me talk to y'all for a second. Let me talk to my Georgia people.
Keep in mind, you're not talking to just Atlanta.
No.
Atlanta, y'all understood the assignment. Amen. They understood.
They did.
Cindy, Miss Cindy, let me Miss Cindy Martin just reported to me. She said all of our Democratic candidates in Escambia County lost. We could have
course.
one in Escambia. We could have one in Escambia County. I don't understand why people don't think their vote doesn't matter. Not voting is like giving someone, the right to determine your destiny. Okay, now let me change. Let me
We
let
don't
me
show
change.
up. We didn't show up.
Let me
There's
change
no way we
focus
show
here
up.
because I was about to go to Georgia. I'm coming back to Florida now, especially people in Escambia County.
We don't show up.
Here's the deal. We know in Escambia County, we know that the Republicans outnumber the Democrats when it comes to registered voters. We
But
are
not
out,
by many.
we're,
but
well,
not by
no,
many.
no, we're outnumbered by about 12,000, 12,
That's not a lot of
13,000, which
not a lot of
means that we have to have a higher turnout. Remember, I was saying that our highest turnout was like 40% or something like that in the Obama election. We have to be 80%.
Exactly.
We have to be 80% plus in order to make a difference in the especially in Escambia County.
40% is not passing, not on the spelling test.
No. You can't
not
do
on the
it.
math test, and most definitely not at the polls. We have to show up in a significant that 80%, the 80% got you that B or that C, depends on what school that you was in. So we cannot be 40%.
So
40% is not passing.
So if we are already outnumbered when it comes to registered voters, that means that every registered Democrat need to get up and vote. Now, and I'm talking to the people in Escambia County right now, Pensacola, Florida, in this area. If you sat your lazy ass around and you didn't get up off your ass and go vote, shut the fuck up. Don't say nothing, because you are the reason why we are in this situation today, because you think your vote don't count, and every single vote counts. Your vote has to be a non-vote is a vote for the opposite party.
Exactly.
And for you not to understand that, and for Ms. Martin to be reporting to me that every single Democratic candidate in the Escambia County lost, and I guarantee you when the numbers come out, the numbers are going to show that only 20-30% of Black people showed up to vote. I need to see that, and I'm sure Miss Cindy will get me the breakdown, and I know she will. She's going to get me the breakdown of, and I'm going to come.
It's Democratic voters, and then it's minorities within their party, and it's like, okay, oh goodness, they neck and neck. Oh goodness.
So
Walker and Warnock, that 1%, can that just go away? Oh my goodness.
Oh, I appreciate that, Miss Cindy. She said she's going to send me the breakdown. But I right now I'm a little agitated. I'm a little irritated. I'm disappointed. I'm ashamed.
Well,
I'm
I want
embarrassed.
you to remember something too, Jared. Think about this for a minute. Outside of the state Senate races and the House race, those two district races are Republican districts, 2 and 4. Those are Republican districts. So Republicans are going to win that anyway. But more Democrats should have come out to vote against Matt Gaetz and Salzman and the other two House seats.
Well,
So,
see, here's what I understand, that especially Escambia County. Escambia County is a red racist county, no doubt. However, that doesn't negate the fact that if Black people would care about social issues, if Black people would care about who is leading the government, if Black people cared about who making the decisions on how their life is going to go on a day-to-day basis, if we cared enough to go vote, I guarantee you, all the people that didn't, most of the people that didn't vote, I bet you they stood in that damn line for that Powerball.
or is
I'm
other
gonna get some ugly ass Yeezys.
or is other emphasis and arguments on things that just are not important. Um, I'm just watching it. I'm watching candidates we have here, officials here say that's not the point. Um, I watched Tenia Day stand up and say that's not what we need to be focused on. That's not what we need to do. And you know, standing up to kind of drown out, you know, that's not what we need to focus on. This is what's important. And deaf ears, deaf ears. So
Mayor Brett says she was saying said they want to keep Florida ass backwards and Alabama's ass backwards as well. She says she's disgusted, and I feel your pain. And you know, I know people have situations. I know we have a lot of people that are not eligible to vote, whatever the case may be. Maybe still, you know, unfortunately, with our justice system, we have a lot of people that still on papers or whatever the case may be. But if you're no longer on papers and you didn't go file to regain your voting rights, that's on you. Because the state of Florida, the people of Florida voted in the 2020 election for people who have convictions to be able to go and get reinstated. As long as you didn't murder nobody or rape nobody, your pathway to
But
get
the
your voting rights
government,
back.
but the state legislature came up with this idea that said you had to have all your fines paid up, which came out to basically being a poll tax.
That was DeSantis.
before
That was
you can-
DeSantis.
Yeah, right.
and
Right.
then you had
So-
folks like LeBron James and
Right.
other celebrities come in and say we're gonna pay for that.
They
Go-
pay for it.
yeah,
right.
right,
And
right.
then, you know, but then after that, before at that time, you had to have 65% of the voter figure was, it had to be 65%. The state legislature
You
raised it to 67%.
you're kind of breaking up a little bit, John. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, let me try this again. Okay.
When that came about, and we went for the referendum, it had to have 65% to pass. When it did pass, the state legislature went back in and voted to raise it to 67%. So, in case that happened again, you see what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, but
The state did that.
right, but the people that had an opportunity to regain their eligibility, they should have done it. The people that are that's not been convicted or whatever and are not registered, they should have registered. And the people that just didn't vote, they should have voted. And
Sure.
I'm irritated by the fact that our people are not doing what they're supposed to. We have people that's out there that's working hard, that's doing everything that they're supposed to do and how they're supposed to do it, whatever. Kudos to those people. But the ones that are sitting back and saying my vote don't count, this, that, and the other, and we continue to have a representative in Matt Gaetz who is just as corrupt as he can get and is a pedophile, and he's going to continue to represent this
I
district.
think
That's embarrassing.
I think what we have to remember too is that in the aftermath of the civil rights movement, because we didn't get everything we wanted. Where do we go from here? Because a lot of things we can cure as a community, and we don't necessarily need the support of our elected officials necessarily. It has to start with us. It has to start with no setting a goal, not blowing a lot of hot air about, because we see people who sit around and complain and who are not actively involved. But it's the small things that we can do to make our community better, our district better, our whatever, realm you want to call it. And because there are other communities with less that have done it.
Mhm.
And because you look at places like I'm serious, I go back to it 100 times again. I'm not going to tell you how many times I've been to these small towns with a courthouse, a church, and a gas station, and they have industry, and they have economics, and they have thriving communities. At some point in time, I don't know if it's arrogance or it's a situation of we don't know what we don't know. But if we don't know how to do it, maybe we should take a step back and look at who is successful. And like I said, break out the pen and paper and get to it ourselves. There's because it's where do we go from here? Like what is okay, Pensacola. You have all Republican candidates who have won. Republican candidate, Democratic candidate. That does not stop you from making the brown dollar circulate in your community. It does not stop you from going in these churches because it's separation of church and state, right? I'll give y'all a few ideas. Nothing wrong. It's nothing, and it's nothing hard about getting in some of these churches and getting in these meeting rooms, these fellowship halls, and getting with some of these organizations and tutoring kids, and getting them so they can be on level and read. Um, is nothing hard about getting business owners to say every week we're gonna put $20 or put however many dollars in the hat, and we're gonna make sure that the kids that we know and the families we know that in the community that need food or need whatever have. It's been done with less. We have the power to make our communities blossom and develop. It doesn't cost us to go and have a community garden and create greenhouses and have green stores where we teaching our young men and young women how to grow their own food and have a job and have and develop industry. It does not take that. It takes innovation, and it takes motivation, and it takes energy. It takes energy, not a dollar. It's just the will. And I don't know what happened. I don't know what it is, but we don't have a grip on that. That bothers me. Um, it really, really does. We can, because we have survived, whether it was Rick Scott, whether it was Haley Barber, whether it was the Fords or whoever. I'm talking about the South in general. We have survived in and out of good and bad politics and in between. But the energy, the motivation, the change that it lies within us. And we can't say, oh, we can't do it, because we had generations and generation of folks that was drinking tear gas and water hoses, and they did it with less.
Exactly.
They had less. And they still had I talked to my mom, and she said, yeah, we had people that didn't support us. We had people that were against everything we were doing. We had people to go and sell us out and go tell the officials when we were going to march and where was going to be and who was going to be in front. We had people that were two-faced and backstabbers. We had that. But yet and still, it has to be that will. So I guess, when a community decides it wants, it gets hungry enough, it wants, it's going to have, maybe it's going to come to a situation where what my Judas and the Black Messiah, Fred Hampton, you want out. You want water, you want out. When are you going to want water, and when you going to want out? And what are you gonna do to get water and to get out? You ain't gonna ask them. You're not gonna ask somebody's permission to get out. You gonna get out. Period. And we have to have that to get out. And the people who don't want out, you need to move out of the way. I'm speaking directly to some Bill O'Neills in this community. If you're not interested in the prosperity of a community, if you're not interested in people thriving and being the best citizens or people they can be, move out of the way. Don't dismantle Black businesses that are trying to support and pour back in the community. Don't violate them. I'm speaking directly to you. I said it. I see a lot of that in this community. Don't set fire to the houses of those who are trying to live. If you don't want it, you go in a corner and just not want all by your miserable self. But these people who want something, who want to live, who want a life, who want things to get better, if you can't help them, do not throw bricks. Get out of the way. And we have a whole lot of that disgusting apathy in this city.
Well, one thing we need to do, and what we is actually we were supposed to go to 9 o'clock. We don't went past.
I woke up.
Hour. We don't went past the 9 o'clock hour. John, you still with me?
I'm here, man.
Okay. Well, what we're going to do, because most of these races right now, the ones that hadn't been called yet, they're either out on the West Coast, in Midwest, West Coast, where they're not going to be called in the next couple of hours because the polls are still open. We know that out in Arizona, we still got people in line to vote out there in Arizona. So what we're going to do is go ahead and go ahead and wrap it up, because we're going to cover it to 9. We don't went past 9 o'clock hour. There are some people chiming in.
Stuck together.
Did I say one thing about the House races?
Yeah, go ahead.
Why it's important is this reason here. The first thing that Republicans said, if they get control of the House, they're going to impeach Joe Biden. Now, an impeachment is not a conviction, as we learned with Trump. But no president wants to go down in history as being impeached.
Well, they have a list of people that they're going to impeach.
Right. And Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are at the top of the heap.
Go ahead and talk. My brain just went blank.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying.
We sleepy. We old.
Yeah.
Oh.
You need that Prevagen. You like that old man. You need that Prevagen.
That's funny.
Now I've heard
revenge politics.
This scenario too.
It's revenge politics, is what it is.
Exactly all it is.
We
now,
tied. It's
tied.
Tied.
I heard this scenario that if the Republicans get control of the House, they can make Donald Trump a speaker. Because you do not have to be elected to the House of Representatives to be the Speaker of the House.
Well, that's not going to work. McCarthy already claimed that. He's already claiming it.
Right. But McCarthy has claimed that, true or not. But that would be an easy way for them to put Donald Trump back in power. Well, because if they come, hold on, let me finish this up. This is just me talking. If McCarthy goes to Biden and Harris and say, listen, we're going to impeach y'all. So in order to avoid that, we want you two to resign. And if Donald Trump is the Speaker of the House, he automatically becomes president. That's the fact.
The TV
Well-
tired, we tired.
Well, first of all, I don't think that that.
That's just a scenario that could happen. I'm just playing it out.
But I know,
That could happen.
even though Biden is old and decrepit and all this good stuff, he's not going to quit. He may not run again, but he's not going to
But
quit.
He's not
he
gonna
doesn't
quit.
want to go down as being impeached. You're talking about a man who spent 40 years in the Senate,
But on what
done a lot of good
grounds?
things, 8 years as a vice president, then becomes elected president, and then you get these quacks gonna come in here and say, we're gonna impeach you.
But impeached
And will-
impeached on what grounds? Because that's like you can say
It doesn't matter.
I'm going to sue you, but you have to have a viable lawsuit, and if not, you can get sued for just wasting the court's time. So
They
I mean,
can say the way he handled the all giving all this money to people during COVID. They can say anything. You don't and the only you don't have to have a reason. I mean, all you have to do is have a reason to impeach someone. But now it goes to the Senate for the trial. Now you have to show cause and prove your case. But you can impeach anybody. But you go down in history as being impeached as the president.
Well, and that's there's a lot of truth behind what you're saying in regards to impeachment, especially if you have the numbers to impeach. Which, if you're in the House of Representatives and you get everybody to vote along party lines and vote to impeach, you can do that. However, is that where we at as a country, to where
Yes.
we want to impeach people for doing the right thing?
I mean, it's
Because
not. It's against our constitutionality. You know, even with, I mean, the worst thing was Watergate. You know, and there was a lot more solid. But yeah.
Nixon would have been convicted. That's why he was fine. The
Yeah.
votes were there to convict Nixon.
There's presidents that's done more. You know, if they, you know, they still scratching their head trying to figure out was it an insurrection or not? You know, so
Do we forget why they impeached Bill Clinton?
because
He didn't
he didn't do
he
anything.
wasn't- He didn't do anything against the Constitution.
No, absolutely not.
He just got some head. That's
Thank
all he
you.
did.
And I have my theories about that,
And
but I'm
Chuck
gonna be
Grassley
quiet.
got mad, and Orrin Hatch got mad because wasn't nobody giving him head.
Oh
So,
Lord, have mercy.
They got mad.
On that note,
But Mr. John, in closing, as far as
I'm going to bed. Good
Yeah.
night.
hold on. So we're gonna go ahead and close this up. But
Don't be mad at me. Don't be mad at me. I'm just telling the truth.
I'm not mad. I'm sleepy. Hey, Van.
Mr. Adams, what do you want people to just in closing, just briefly, what you want to say to the people about this election?
We had a chance. And if Republicans take over, it's going to get tough. But we've been through it before. We survived Reagan, 2 Bushes, and a Trump. We can survive this too. I just don't think that our government is going to give for the likes of Donald Trump. Not the country I fought for. Not the country my father fought. So we've been through segregation, slavery, and like I said, a Reagan, 2 Bushes, and a Trump.
Okay.
We get through this too.
All right, Queen Sarah, what's your closing on this? Well, the election's not over yet. All the votes haven't been counted, but
Right.
As far as this election cycle and the numbers that we're seeing right now, what's your take, your closing take on this situation?
I think we have to be the change that we want to see, because we have to remember this: whether we got all the blue or it's all red or whatever the case may be, Politicians are just that. They are politicians. They aren't magicians or the Easter Bunny or Santa Claus or any of these mythical creatures that we feel that can possess some sort of magic to just drastically change things, because they're going to all do things we agree with and disagree with, whether we are for or against whatever. But we have to be the change. Like I said previously, um, we have had survived through this era of a politician and that era of a politician. It is about us being the change and being very serious about the change we want to see. We have to be that change. You want it to be different, you have to put your um you know put your wheel to the grindstone with it, and you just have to be the change you want to see. I want to encourage everybody when they get up in the morning, take a deep breath, thank God for another day, and go back at it, because
Uh-huh.
that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
Okay. And my take on this, I'm gonna lead this in closing. John, real quick question before I give you my final take, so we can get up out of here. Where you gonna be Thursday night?
I'm gonna try to be home. Not I'm on the way home.
Well, are you gonna be stationary? I don't care if you're at home, because I'm
I can be.
okay. So I'm gonna ask you to come back Thursday, and we're gonna go over this whole thing once it kind of clears up, and we get most of the numbers in. Some of these races won't be called yet, but I'm gonna send you the link to the show on that night, and I'm gonna bring you in.
Okay. I'm watching this Warnock Walker thing, man. It's close as hell, boy.
Ms. Barbara Tyson says she is on. She said all I have to say about the midterm election is there's a lot of work to be done, and yes, that's the understatement of the night. There's a whole lot of work that needs to be done. And in closing, I'm going to say this:
Mhm.
we as a people, I hate to just direct things at my black people, but I have to at this point. We as a people, we have to learn how to work together. We have to learn how to respect each other. We have to learn how to care about what's going on in our community, because right now these numbers are telling us that we really don't give a damn, and that's embarrassing for me to say. That's hurtful for me to say this about my own people. That we just we and it's not all people that is, because obviously we have a lot of people showing up at the polls, but it's not nearly enough, and we have to have enough people that give a damn, who care about
Yeah.
their what's going on in their lives and what's going to happen in their children's life and their children's children, because decisions that are made today affect lifetimes. This
That's true.
Supreme Court decision that took place, this affects the next 40 years that we got to deal with this crap. And if we had a got out and voted back then, and I know woulda, coulda, shoulda, but right now we're in a situation where we could have done something, and the numbers are showing. And I don't have the final numbers. I will be getting the final numbers. The numbers are showing right now that we don't give a damn. And until we give a damn, until we start caring about ourselves, start caring about our future, start caring about the future of our children, we're going to stay treading water. We're not going to move anywhere. We're going to tread water until we sink. So I need for my people, and again, I don't have anything against decent white people. Yes, racist white people can kiss the moist part of the crack of my ass, pretty much. But as far as,
Tell us how you really feel.
and I'm sorry, I'm irritated right now. But I need my people to do better.
Y'all be sure to check the election site to make sure your
Hey,
vote
Queen.
is in it, if there is an
Queen.
option to confirm your vote. Okay, all right.
Queen,
Yes.
go somewhere and make him some herbal tea and calm his ass down, please. Something.
You know, oh gosh.
But we
no.
we
Gerald,
we
you ready to go? You
we
ready-
as a
you need to
people
go
have to
smoke
do
your
better.
blunt.
That's
You need
that's.
to go smoke a blunt, Gerald. You need to calm your ass down. man.
I,
Go smoke a
I'm
blunt.
gonna go to bed. I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna try to sleep. But we as a people, I'm disappointed right
He
now.
drank you a nice Coca-Cola or something.
I am thoroughly
No, that'll
disappointed.
wear him up. That'll wear him up.
And if I don't call my people out, nobody will.
Yeah,
We
I
can't
feel
we
you.
can't just sit by
You're right.
and
You're right,
let
Gerald, you're right.
let things happen without calling it out. That's been the problem in the Black community for years on all types of subjects, you know, from molestation to
Damn,
you know,
this guy's ass.
mental issues to whatever. It's like everything that happened in the Black community got to stay hush hush. You can't say nothing about it. You can't talk about this. You can't talk because if you talk about that, Uncle Junebug going to jail. And if you do this, you know, people at the church gonna look at us. Damn all that. Can't keep doing what we're doing and expect different results. We got to do something different. So to my Black people, I'm irritated, and I apologize for my demeanor at this point in time, but I'm not pleased with my people, especially one here in Escambia County. I know we got a lot of racist assholes in Escambia County. You work with a lot of them. A lot of them gonna be smiling in your face tomorrow at work, and they gonna be calling you nigger behind your back.
A couple of them are black folks.
So, and that's just the reality of it. And y'all about to start eating these potlucks but anyway, it's time to get out of here. It is time to get out of here. Watch these potlucks and who bringing
I
what.
gotta call my wife.
Because you don't know what the hell you eating. Just remember the movie The Help. Y'all start eating these people food you want to.
You is kind. You is special.
On that note, thank you all for tuning in.
I appreciate
on
y'all for-
Queen. Congratulations to all the governor candidates, especially the ones who are Mandela Barnes and all the people who are getting it in for the first time. Congratulations to you. Miracles and blessings.
And I will be back with you Thursday night, and Mr. John gonna join me Thursday night. And we're gonna talk about the final results here, and I'm gonna give you my final spiel on what we need to do as a people. So appreciate you joining us tonight. Thank you, Queen Sarah. Thank you, Mr. John, for hanging out with me
Thank you,
tonight.
sir. Thanks for letting me do this. It's fun.
Thank y'all.
All right, sir.
Right.
And you
Y'all
guys
go
out there,
safe.
y'all be safe, y'all be blessed, and we'll see you on Thursday night.
Peace out.